Hey guys, and welcome to Death Before Dishonour, stumbling over my own words there, Season 5, qualifying number 1. It is fantastic to be back. We haven't streamed in an incredibly long time, been mainly popping out videos and the like because I have been on holiday, but what a tournament it's been so far. Some true underdog stories as well as some big hitters here in the semi-final. So for our first semi-final, we do have Inticity up against Mofet here. Need to quickly pop Inticity a message. Looks like you are all good. Cool. So we do have Inticity up against Mofet here. Inticity is a former champion and actually got to last season's finals, I believe, up against Talaxland Soothsayer, certainly playing very well for himself. And he's up against Mofet, who I've not had on the channel before. In our second semi-final, we do have King of the Dead, either up against Glyph Total War or Gobbo Slayer. Those guys were still playing their quarterfinals last time I did look. But I hope you guys are all good. It's good to see familiar faces and old faces in you. And yeah, I'm very excited. Make sure my phone is all good. What's up, King? What's up, Raptor? How's it going, man? Great to see you around. It makes me nervous. Good to go when you guys are. So I'm not sure if Mofet's new to the game. Oh, well, not new to the game. It's obviously very good to get this far, but if it's his first time kind of playing in a funnel like this. Should be good stuff, but yeah, we do actually have a Coast Mirror match. I'm so sorry. This is the opening game is going to be Vampire Coast up against, I believe this is Diafin's, Slostra Diafin's own faction. Mofet is ready. Just waiting on Inticity. He was asking some rules questions, and we are, of course, playing Warhammer Cup rules. I was going to upgrade to banner rules, but I didn't have time to sort it out today, so we are playing these ones for this heat, and going into the future, we'll probably transition into banner rules, which should be some good fun. The mods are here. They are indeed. What's up, Z-Dagon? Palpatine? Hope you guys are all good. I'm very excited to see who's actually going to come up against King in the second semi-final. So we have two finalists from last season in this one here. Should be good stuff. Looks like they are ready. So good luck to both of them, and we will get this cracking. It's great to be back, guys. I haven't streamed anywhere near as much as I wanted to. I'm a bit ill today, unfortunately, so you might tell in my voice as time goes on. Just had a bit of a sore throat and kind of headache and all that boring stuff. But I'll pop some painkillers, so we should be all good. I'm all drugged up. Yes. More mods than viewers. I'm just going to make everyone a mod. I think it's mainly the DBD boys, as well as Raptor, of course, who is an honorary member. Known for his glorious map selection. Yeah, Aldorf Outskirts is going to be the map here, and then we're going to be rolling into Troll Country as well as Galbaraz, which is really badass and awesome kind of fantasy-sounding name all round. Speaking of fantasy as well, I've been finishing off the second Witcher book. Good stuff indeed. So I highly recommend anyone who's a big fan of fantasy. Cool, just he was making one small change. Looks like he is now ready to rock and roll. Who is your money on? So the ODM boy himself, Inticity, is known to kind of slay foes left, right and centre. But, I mean, he's very good at Vampire Coast, but you don't really practice up against your own faction. I suppose he does know them inside out. But it's going to be a really weird match overall. I'm expecting a ridiculous amount of guns. Of course, with banner rules, or not banner rules, sorry, Warhammer Cup rules, there is not a limit on the number of guns you can bring, only on the number of Parfin units, which is 360 shooting units, which of course the Coast don't really have to worry about too much. So I'm expecting a terrible amount of firepower coming in here. And here we go. Nice and quick loaded in. So I'm interested to see these builds. Looks like we have a flying build over there. But first, let's hop into Inticity here and his glorious undead. So up in the sky, he has double deck droppers here. And you don't get to see terribly often. They do have some pretty niche applications, though. They're very good up against Chaos. And I don't know about this matchup. It'd be interesting to see how they do perform. So double unit of them. In the front line, he has gone very cheap and cheerful, as you expect, with deckhand polearms. A couple of those as well, mixing with the basic deckhand mobs, as well as the Regiment Renowned one here. Just a ton of HP to soak up the enemy, while the rest of his army does the real damage. For that damage, he has 4 units of Zombie Pyre gunnery mob with handguns here, dotted all the way along, as well as a Vampire Fleet Captain of the Deep, something you don't get to see terribly often, so I don't know if he's actually going to be bringing any heal in here. So he has got the Fog of the Damned, Spiteful Shot, as well as Tide Call here, which is pretty fun stuff. And up in the skies, we do indeed have Luther Harkin, who is a terror in the night. And I can see him being very good in this matchup and trying to snipe out the enemy forces. We do have another Vampire Fleet Captain. Is it the same one? Must be the same one. Yeah, just hiding behind the house here, which is good play. We do also have the Shade Wraith Gunners, Regiment Round Deck Gunners, who of course are ethereal, which are going to be very good in this matchup against all that firepower coming in. Looks like we have carronades galore, so we have 4 of those bad boys. Pretty fun stuff all round. Now, for the forces here of the slightly more colourful forces, I suppose, here of Mofet in the front line, he's gone equally cheap and cheerful with zombie pirate deck hand mobs slotted all the way along, but he has a bit of an ethereal theme apart from that. He has double damned paladins, one of my favourite units actually when it comes to the Vampire Coast, because they're so goddamn unique. So 2 ethereal heroes here can certainly lay a whooping down on any enemy characters they do hunt down, such as that Vampire Fleet Captain of Deep. We do have a zombie gunnery mob bombers in the secondary line, mixed in with sirens as well, so gone very wide. So it looks like double sirens on each flank, banked up as well by Mongols. So pretty nice stuff. 1 unit of bombers. He's got a little bit more cheap in the Lord category, of course, because he's put a lot more money into this kind of overload in the flank situation. So we have a Vampire Fleet Admiral of Vampires coming in with the Opal Amulet, Invocation of the Heck, of course, and Drowned Dead. It's all pretty, you know, standard stuff. In the skies, he does have 2 units of Fellbats on one flank as well as 2 on the other. Those guys should be pretty decent at shutting down those deck droppers. Have the emphasis is really going to be on Mofet to rush here, which is not something that the Vampire Coast are normally known for doing very well, but there's a ridiculous amount of firepower here he's going to have to get through. No Vargeists. Go for the map, boys. What's up? What's up, Park Map? How's it going, dude? Decided you had to drop out the tournament earlier for lag issues, which kind of sucks. But great to see you here and chilling. Cool, good luck, have fun in chat, which is always good to see. Anyone who's played in my tournaments before knows that I take sportsmanship very seriously. And that's why the tournament's actually called Death Before Dishonour. So Luther Harkin, do you do magic damage, my friend? You do indeed. So he's going to be a fantastic answer to all these sirens, and it looks like he has popped in here to try and get a free kill. However, the Mongols are lurking, and they can certainly lay a whooping down on him as well. Now, they are anti-infantry, but they have decent AP stats all round. But it looks like a Spiteful Shot upgrade has given the Luther Harkin the magic damage there. I was wondering why he came in with the magic, so that's actually going to be really key here, and keeping that ability active can be very, very potent and powerful. Shade Wraith Gunners are currently in combat here with Fellbats, but with the help of the Vampire Fleet Captain, they should be able to overwhelm those bats pretty damn quickly, so it's nothing too bad, as well as some crossfire coming in with the Handgunners, tearing apart these Fellbats, who are desperately trying to shut down these cannons here. Ones on the right hand flank are a little bit more distracted here, and there's not many combat troops at all, so this overload is going to be really very painful if they get their act together very quickly. Deck droppers are unloading some rounds into the Mongols here, which is a perfect target for them. Drag those guys down and worry about the sirens a little bit later. Some of the bombers have got into action, already up to over 20 kills, decimating both friend and foe alike, but doing some decent work all round. And oh no, in the distance, it looks like the 2 damned paladins managed to countercharge Luther Harkin here and force him back up into the skies. Mongols just floating around and helping protect those guys. So far, nice backline protection from Intensity for the majority of the hit, but it looks like one carried may in fact be going down here, and there is still Fellbats dotted all the way around. One thing going really strong for Intensity, of course, is these flying deck droppers. There's not much to shut them down at all, so the Mongols are really going to struggle here quite a lot. More cannon fire is coming in, focusing down at the zombie pirate gunnery mob bombers there, which is a decent target all round. Wouldn't mind some of them switching as well to help take down the Mongols, because the front line is disappearing very quickly here. Shade Wraith Gunners are trying desperately to stay active. Of course, these guys do have magic damage, so they're perfect for taking down these sirens. However, the downed paladins are coming here, going to be doing some decent work. We do see another Spiteful Shot upgraded here, which is going to make the duration last a lot longer, giving Luther Harkin that magic damage. So most people don't realise this, as it is plus 90 actually, but it gives magic damage to both melee and shooting. So he's going to be able to pop in here, and he is decimating these damned paladins down here, destroying them. But it looks like they have indeed done their job. But Luther Harkin looking a little bit vengeful there overall. Over here, Sirens not doing too bad, trying to hold the line. It looks like they did get whacked there a second ago by a beautiful tidal wave, so they are starting to go into critical binding, but the carronade crews are wavering a little bit themselves, and this right hand side is looking very bleak. At the same time though, the deck dropper's doing some decent work over here, now focusing down at the Vampire Fleet Admiral, and she's relatively squishy, honestly, down to 1,400 health. Looks like she was casting a spell there, but it was not an invocation on herself. Luther Harkin does decide to float back over to the main engagement. Looks like he cleared up both of those paladins. He should be able to rescue this situation up against the Sirens. Now, he's going to be a hard carry here. If this, the longer the game goes on, the better it's going to get for Anticity, realistically. The deck dropper is going to do that continued damage to the Vampire Fleet Admiral. Yes, an invocation is going down, but it's still all hit points that are being eaten up here. Though the carriers are probably about to get overrun here, so some things are going a bit tit for tat here. Luther Harkin, as long as the Vampire Fleet Captain of Deep survives, can of course carry hard with that magic damage, but as soon as she goes down, he's going to be in real dire straits. Looks like he's going to use the extra mobility of the flying forces here to swoop over onto the right hand side and try to finish off this Admiral, where it looks like an Opal Amulet has been popped, desperately trying to keep her a little bit more alive. Very close game overall, but there's a ton of reinforcements here coming in, and a lovely Tide Call coming down as well, doing some huge work on those Sirens and really helping this Vampire Fleet Captain out. She's been a real MVP so far, giving that magic damage and holding the line herself, up to 34 kills, but in come the Mongols and she could be in some deep, deep trouble. Looks like another invocation of Nahek is going down here. It's going to be, of course, the Overcast variety, catching a decent number of units, as well as the Vampire Fleet Admiral himself. A big Shriek does come in, doing some pretty decent work overall. Luther Harkin probably wants to come over here and save this Fleet Captain. It's going to be pretty pivotal into the late game, but she is starting to go into critical bind in here, and could be a little too much here for Luther Harkin. Looks like he is going for the character assassination attempt, which in this situation is always pretty good. If you think you're losing, just try and take out the enemy commander to try and swing things drastically back in favour. But it looks like there's just the Air Force left at the moment for the Vampire Coast here. So down on the grounds, Vampire Fleet Captain is unfortunately going down. A real MVP though, been very impressed overall with the performance there. Interesting to see a undead faction in general without invocation of Nahek, which is some pretty awesome stuff. Looks like the poor deck droppers are out of ammunition, so having to dive into combat here. As Luther Harkin desperately tries to snipe out the Vampire Fleet Admiral, but I think it's gone a little too far away for Anticity at this point. Perhaps if they can snipe this Admiral with a chance, but Opal Amulet, such a good ability, lasts a ridiculous amount of time, really helping keep this Admiral alive. And the Sirens are going to start to swamp here, and there's just too many undead left, I think, at this point. Looks like a few shots were laced into the Mongols there, just trying to help finish them off. It really is going to be Luther up against the world, and he's a fantastic duelist, but is it going to be enough? What's up, Ronan? And what's up, Wicked D? Steve Wilson, how's it going? So I'll get to you guys in a second, just had a little quick look through chat, saw some glorious names popping up. Hopefully Ronan is back playing Total War Warhammer. I know he took a break a little while ago. And guys, back to the battle. Deck droppers are going down here. Luther Harkin as well, really starting to struggle. Balance Pack isn't quite in Army Losses territory just yet. And the Admiral has been hornswoggled. Luther Harkin desperately trying to push his way through and assassinate him, but I don't think he's going to be able to reach, unfortunately. Trying to pull back, which he's allowed to do, of course, as deck droppers are in combat. He's going to be trying to float up and around and finish off that Vampire Fleet Admiral. Maybe even get one or two pistol shots off. Looks like he should be able to get back up into the sky, but as soon as these deck droppers do go, he is going to have to engage. Of course, he cannot just sit up there and use ammunition, so he will have to move in for the kill here. It looks like Anticity, of course, a veteran of tournaments by this point, is going to be launching in and trying his best to munch on the Vampire Fleet Admiral. Looks like he may be able to get her as well. Critical Binding has been popped here, so she is getting drained pretty damn quickly, down to just 361 health. Luther still rocking a rock hard 2,700, and perhaps there is a hope yet, but it looks like they may stabilise here. In fact, they get healed here by something. Looks like they're doing all good. Yeah, up to 421 health. Opal Amulet is once again popped, and there's simply nothing Luther can do at this point. Say should make a live-in version of Sorcerer playable as Brett. That is a fantastic idea, actually. That is pretty damn cool. Well, I hope you guys did enjoy this glorious mirror match. Hey, I know what you meant, King. Tomb Kings aren't undead, man. They're in between life and death, so they're death fun. It makes sense. Go along with that. So anyway, Mofet is going to take this first game. First round, sorry. So it's going to be 1-0 to him. GG. Great game. Some really awesome builds coming out there. I was very impressed with Mofet's overall. Going for the rush is quite risky, but probably anticipating that Anticity was going to try and outshoot him a little bit. So we are going to be moving over to Troll Country now. I will be with you guys in just a second to answer questions and the like, and just say hello as well to everyone who has been joining. But I'm just going to quickly set this up. Troll Country it is. Let's update the scoreboard. So Mofet is 1-0 up, which is pretty impressive stuff. Wicked is not a mod. I need to make Wicked a mod, actually. I don't think I have yet. Now I know what to do, Beast Coast. I have to become them. Yeah, unfortunately, Palpatine, yes. If you can't beat them, you must become them. I don't know who Mofet is. It shouldn't be Arkan, because... so I actually banned Arkan on Steam, so when he joins lobbies with me, it's still his old picture and old name. At least that's what happened in Happy Pappy's tournament. So unless he's changed his entire Steam account and created a new one, we should be able to tell who it is. But yeah, I'll keep an eye out. I think he's all good, man. He's played in H1 Sunstorm, I believe, not too long ago. There was another player I hadn't recognised who got incredibly fast. Sorry, actually in the other quarterfinals. I'm not sure if that's finished yet. Let's have a quick look. La-di-da-di-da. Cool, looks like Gobbo Slayer hasn't finished his game yet. Oh no. Sweet! Gobbo Slayer is going to be the other semi-finalist. Which is pretty damn cool. Da-da-da. Cool, looks like some bits going on. Yep. Sorry guys, just saw a bit of admin out there. So Mofet is going Empire, banning Dowie and Tomb Kings, and Anticity is going Norska. Yeah, King, I was there for Happy's tournament where he popped in, and because I was co-casting, actually, when he joined the lobby, his name appeared different to me than everyone else, and his old picture was up still, and I think it's because I had banned him on Steam before, so he wasn't really meant to be in a lobby with me, so it kind of like messed up, basically. So I'm pretty sure these guys are all good. But I do appreciate the concern that does happen now and again. So for those who don't know, people who smurf are people who play under a different name, kind of pretend to be a newer player, so they can get away with rule breaks and all that kind of nasty stuff, which we do not allow, unfortunately. If you want to play under a different name, that's fine, but you just have to let me know in advance so I can let your opponents know as well. Happy Puppy, how's it going? I saw you had to drop out of the tournament early on, which is very sad. Hope you're all good. But yes... Troll Country, very small map, so it's probably going to favour the Norscan rush here. If I was the Empire, I would definitely take Knights of the Blazing Sun. They're a fantastic answer to Skin Wolves, and generally decent cav all round. Pretty hard hitting, and those fire attacks really help out against Norska, who have quite a lot of regenerating troops. And of course, most of you probably know this already, but anyone who has regeneration does have a weakness to fire. Dying slowly. I feel you. I've had a bit of a sore throat and a headache all day. It's luckily gone away. I think the adrenaline has kicked in. So we should be all good, hopefully, to get through the stream okay. Sweet. Just going to double check Discord. Make sure we're all good. Just need to update the score quickly for Gobbo Slayer. Cool. So it will be Gobbo Slayer versus King of the Dead in the second semi-final, which is a game I'm incredibly excited for. Looks like Anticity is ready, but we have this one to finish, of course. So both King and Anticity were finalists in last season's grand final, so I do have a little bit of an announcement to make about this season's tournaments. We are in fact going to be playing for a prize this year, so normally it's just been nice and friendly up to this point, and it will still continue to be nice and friendly, but we are going to have a small prize for the grand finals, which I'm working between two different ideas at the moment. There's one kind of really silly fun one, and another one which will be a little bit more expensive, and but it will also be pretty awesome as well. So I'm going to kind of weigh out my options and go for them, but there will be a prize for the grand champion of this season. Oh no, how puppy, you're crumbling. Where can I get invocation of the Heck Raptor? You have to die first, so I'm afraid you're going to have to, you know, and you can come back. Ronan, are you playing again yet? By any chance? I need to know. Need to get you back in some of these tournaments. Ronan is a ridiculously good Wood Elf player. Oh, is it? Yeah, I believe it's Wood Elves and Norskins, right? I want to say. I may have got that completely wrong. It's been so long. Say it's been too long, Ronan. I'm forgetting what armies you're good with. Cool. Looks like the boys are ready to rock and roll. Can Anticity drag this back to 1-1, or will this best of 3 semi-final go Mofet's way? Troll Country. We normally used to open all streams up with Troll Country. I still do it on King of the Hills for the most part, and we will be getting back into doing more King of the Hills in the future as well. But it's a super fun blood and thunder affair. Both armies just crash into each other very quickly. As I said earlier, this is probably going to go relatively well for the Norskins in that situation, but Empires certainly have some fun tools if they want to go toe-to-toe, try and rush the opponent back. Let's hop in here and have a quick look at Anticity's build. So for the forces of Norskins, we have Marauders in the front line, cheap and cheerful, and these guys are pretty damn deadly actually up against state troops. Of course, they do have that Berserker Rage. And with the decent attack, they can chew through those poor humans very quickly. Marauder Berserkers as well are going to be mixed in. It looks like we have 2 units of those bad boys just to add a bit more meat to the grinder, and should be able to chew through the opposition very, very quickly. Over on the right-hand flank here, we do have the Mist Stalkers, regiment-renowned Fimir Warriors, as well as the Maws of Savagery, a badass-looking unit of werewolves. These guys are armoured, regeneration, great durability throughout the course of a battle. There's some Norscan Ice Wolves as well, can be dotted on the flanks. Looks like a basic unit of Warhounds. But yeah, so double Skin Wolves, one being the Maws of Savagery. We then have a Shaman Sorcerer of Fire coming in, Burning Head, Flaming Sword of Ruin, as well as, I believe that's Cascading Fire Cloak. It's been a little while since I played, so let's hop in and double check. It is indeed. And for Lord, of course, he has the only sensible option, which is Wulfric the Wanderer on top of his mighty Mammoth here. Can certainly go toe-to-toe with any Lord in the game and still do pretty damn good for himself. So, for the forces of the Empire, we do have Spearmen in the front line. It looks like some of them have been chevroned up as well. These guys are there to die, basically. They're trying to hold back the enemy while the rest of the army actually packs the punch and does the damage. To help hold the line, he has Flagellants as well. It looks like we have 3 units of these bad boys. So then mixing with the Spearmen should be able to hold back the tide for a decent amount of time, simply because this secondary line, of course, is unbreakable. Those guys are fanatics of Sigma, so they wouldn't dare run and dishonour him. We do have triple Knights of the Blazing Sun now. This is a really good pick overall. They should be able to counter the Skin Wolves very effectively. However, the Fimir Warriors can do decent work up against them as well with their armor sundering and all that goodness. He does have the Silver Bullet, so going very light here on the range troops, which I certainly agree with on a map like this up against Norscan. And these guys do have Stalk as well, so they should be able to do some decent damage, try and commit Wulfric, and then do some armor-piercing long-range damage to him. As for a hero core, we have Jade Wizard with Regrowth and Earthblood, as well as Karl Franz up in the sky rocking the Rune Fang, as well as Galmiraz. So he's going to be dual wielding today, a hammer and a sword. I'm not sure if it's a sword and a half or a great sword or whatever the Rune Fangs are, or if they're kind of designed per holder. But that's going to be pretty tough to dual wield on top of a mighty beast like that. But still, very fun build overall. Looks like the Jade Wizard is actually hiding in a tiny patch of trees, which is pretty hilarious stuff, actually. So, good luck, have fun. Looks like the boys are ready to rock and roll, and here we go. Who is your money on? Let's see, as I was just viewing through there, someone took an arrow to the knee, oh no. And the forces are underway, so both guys just going to be sizing each other up at this point. Norscan Ice Wolf starting to float around the right-hand flank. Skinwolves as well, just chilling as the Marauder advance does begin here. Norscan Warhound's going to be trying to get around the flank. There's not too much room for them to manoeuvre. Should be able to whip around, though, and get some decent engagements. Of course, they do not know of the silver bullets. It looks like there's actually 2 units. We have the Sterland Revenge here as well, which is the Regiment of Renowned Free Company Militia. I don't get to see terribly often at all. The Cannon Vanguard, which is pretty cool. Looks like they obviously didn't decide to do that this time. Would have been probably quite a bad idea up against Norska. Looks like the Knights of the Blazing Sun just trying to float around and judge wherever these Skinwolves are going to be. Now, I would use these guys in deep reserve, keep them behind your front line. Oh, it looks like a big boat is coming down, and that is disgustingly deadly stuff. And oh no, the Flagellants actually move into it. That pretty much takes the silver bullets out of the game and gets these Flagellants down to 31 models. That's got 80 kills with 1 boat. That is such a hard ability to spot. Now, I would use the Knights of the Blazing Sun to countercharge these Skinwolves, so keeping them back is an idea I quite like. But it looks like they might try and get in here and do some early cycle charging, but they are blobbing up a little bit too much here on top of the Mist Stalkers. Skinwolves are going to get a nice countercharge now. Of course, the fire damage is really good here, but all of these guys are turning and facing that centre pocket. None of them really wants to take on the Skinwolves, but with an Earthblood popped, stand your ground, right on Runefang, these guys are certainly going to be very tasty here, but a big burning head does come down. Not going to do the most damage to these guys, of course. They are Knights of the Blazing Sun. They have weakness to fire, which seems odd. I assume that's an ability popped on them by someone. But yeah, they've been absolutely crumped here. Wolfric the Wanderer has popped in and is just slapping these guys around. And that was a disastrous start for the forces of the Empire. It looks like some of the Knights of the Blazing Sun are running for the hills, and this is brilliant play by Anticipating. No! Take these guys, yes. He takes these guys and he's hunting down the Knights of the Blazing Sun. This is fantastic value. There's still Regrowth and Earthbloods available to the Empire, so if he can force off double Knights of the Blazing Sun, that is some very good value overall. Wolfric the Wanderer is going up against a petty human here who has decided to hold his ground up against the might of a mammoth, which seems like a terrible idea. And in fact, he does get terrified at the very thought of it, and he's going to be able to be chased off by the wolves here. Those knights were escorted off the field, and I think this is game over already. Skinwolves floating around, can easily circle around Karl Franz and slowly drag him down, but to be honest, it looks like they're ignoring him for the most part, trying to take down the Knights of the Blazing Sun, finish them off quickly, so the Skinwolves are more decent here in the late game with their durability. Another boat comes down, doing some okay damage, nothing as crazy this time. More Knights of the Blazing Sun do start to run for the hills, and there's some Northern Ice Wolves ready and waiting to snap them up if they react quick enough. Looks like Hunter Champions has been popped on Karl Franz here, and Wolfric is having none of the Emperor's business today. No sir, hunting him down, Hunter Champions, and that was ridiculously quick. That was insane. What's up, Prussian Prince? Great to see you around, man. I saw that you fought bravely in today's tournament as well. Always good to see you involved, man. So, Anticity there, hugely dominant display, putting his foot down and saying, no, I will not go quietly into the good night, I'm here to stay. And really, giving a second wind punch back there onto the force of the Empire. That boat play was disgustingly powerful early on, and I think those knights all committed to one big blobbed up engagement, which allowed them to get countercharged by Wolfric and the Skinwolves, and it turned into a kind of a really nasty affair there for the forces of the Empire. That car's better than sex. GG. Amen spells. Yeah, the boat is very powerful here. So we will be moving over now to Galmiraz, I believe. There we go. Galmiraz it is. So I'm assuming they know the combat system. If they do not, I will let them know in a second, but we'll upgrade the scoreboard here. So Intensity is back. Nice 1-1. Hey, Ice Power. How's it going, dude? I see good people playing Norska and suddenly I know I need to learn them. I must know their powers. That was quick. Indeed. So, Intensity to pick 3. Oh, he already knows. Cool. Sorry I told your strategy to Gobbo. How dare you, happy puppy. What's up, Steve Wilson? Hope you're doing good, man. Nice to see you here. Great to see so many people about. If you are enjoying, I hate saying this every time, but it really does help out if you guys want to hit that thumbs up button. It kind of pushes out the stream to more people. And if you enjoy Total War content and you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. We've had a load of new people recently. We've really started to snowball quite heavily. Up to, I believe, like 825 subscribers or something crazy. Feel free, you ban 1 counter. Yep. Just knows what's up. Of course, a very veteran player here. I believe Mofet did say he was relatively new to the game, but he may have, kind of played other similar games, which a lot of people did, which actually I think is how Intensity got into this game, and you can become very good at this game quickly if you're used to that style of game. 1-3, yes. We changed it. So I may have put the old rules up. Let me double check that I didn't do something stupid. Did I put the old rules, the old pick and ban system up that we copied and pasted? No, we put up the new ones. Oh no. Why did it kick me? I don't want any Steam antics today. Not on my stream. There's Yo, what up, guy? How's it going, man? Ronan, you are a smurf. Let's host a new one. Okay, looks like we're back. The lobby looks like it bugged out. So let's invite Intensity. And switch maps back to Galbaraz. Cool, I will message them on Discord. Lobby bugged out. I'll open a new one. Boop. Cool. Hey. Cool. Having a good time. That's what I like to hear. He beat people, so he must be good. To kind of prove how like ladder was broken as well, like a few months ago, I just picked Lizardmen on quick bouts, which is my best faction, and like, I mean, you can get like ridiculously high if you go like a real try hard and that type of thing. But at least I can still beat Puppy. I don't know, Ronan. I haven't seen you in action in a while, man. Yeah, Mofet seems like a cool dude, Prussian Prince. I haven't had any problems with him so far. Like, so, I mean, I haven't like met him before, but he's been final tourney. I don't know if Mofet dropped as well. Ah, he disconnected. Okay. That might have been why it kicked us out then. Never have you beaten me, Ronan. I think we're going to have to do a best of 5 Ronan and Puppy at some point on the channel. Gonna have to stream you guys in a head-to-head grudge match. Have you both throw down? Whoa, 40 people watching. Hey, hey. Welcome, welcome to those who have joined a little bit late here. We're in the first semi-finals, which is between Inticity here and Mofet. It is currently 1-1, which is pretty damn good stuff. And up after this, we have Gobbo Slayer up against King of the Dead, which certainly is going to be a big old Royal Rumble. And then there will be a best of 5 final, so good stuff all round. Let's see. Yeah, problem with stream. It's cool, man. It's cool. Can you get back on? Oh, and then he's speaking to me in Russian. I don't understand Russian. Okay, yes, perfect. It looks like he had a problem with Steam, so did I, so it's all good. I said he did something weird today while we were in the lobby. I was streaming on the Discord in public section. He joined and then instantly left. I'll have a little cheeky look at your build. $42 and 832 subs. Thank you, Happy Puppy. Thank you so much. It's very cool, honestly, to see the channel grow this much. It's kind of one of those things that just kind of picks up over time. Like, I remember getting my first 100 subs, it was like an absolute grind. And then, you know, getting to 200 is much quicker than getting to 100 and so on and so on. It kind of just builds up quite nicely. Send me send me Steam code. Okay, I'm going to add Mofet on Steam just to make this a bit easier. As he's saying, you can't see in the lobby. See, Prussian Princess, you were looking away for too long. That's his problem. You caught him by surprise. Yeah, I was surprised to see you go early, actually, man. You've had some fantastic shows before. I believe got into some semi-finals of this. I'm not sure, have you got to a final? I feel like you have. For those who don't know, Prussian Prince is also a YouTuber as well, and I highly recommend his channel. He's been around for a very long time. And does some really decent work on there, so I'm just admin in the background at the same time as this. Sent. Cool. There he is. Bam. Send him an invite. Yeah, I highly recommend. Honestly, it's an awesome channel. See Dagon. Yes, you have a channel as well, I believe. First 100's a grind. Tell me about it. You'll get there, man. It takes a while, trust, but it's you'll get there. What's with the timer? I'm afraid that is just my very crappy overlay at the moment. I do not have a professional one, so the timer is just there, I'm afraid. I really need to get that sorted and get a better one. No worries. No worries. Looks like he's banning Dowie. Boo! We'd like to see the dwarfs at work. But yes, welcome. I'm going to completely butcher your name here, so I apologise in advance, but Rue UC. But that is why. But welcome to the channel, man. This is true. There is many a secret message that goes on in the stream for the Grand Duck Army. So we have seen Bretonians coming in from Mofet here after banning the Dowie gods of old. And I cannot remember what Inticity's other picks were, but it is going to be Chaos. Papa Palpatine, if he's still in chat, is going to be very excited about this. No worries, Prince. Man, you do some really good stuff. You deserve it. I believe you've been doing more Lord of the Rings stream stuff, I think that was your channel. I can't remember. I checked it out a little while ago. I've been away for like a couple of weeks, to be honest, from the scene in general. I had like a week off, and then I actually went away like on holiday last week, so I haven't been around too much, hence the lack of streams. But we've kept up the videos. which have been going very well. And I'm glad, though, to be back running tournaments as well. It's always good to see kind of these top-tier players, you know, duke it out. And Mofat's certainly shown that he can rock it with the best, and Entity known in these parts as a very scary player indeed. He's no longer that kind of new kid on the block he was a few months ago, but he's quite a seasoned vet now. And he's certainly taken some scalps. No Lord of the Rings. I think that was Zardar who was in Lord of the Rings, Prussian Prince. Sorry about that. I think I got you mixed up, but... Oh, Hearts of Iron, that was it! Oh, Hearts of Iron seems pretty cool. I don't actually own the game, but it does look very good. We are going to be doing a new game on the channel as well soon, but only, you know, now and again. It's still going to be majority Total War Warhammer 2 content, but I am also going to be looking into playing a little bit of Hollow Knight. And maybe a little bit of Total War Troy. If you guys are interested in that, please do let me know. I should probably get a tiny bit of early access. I don't want to say too much because I don't know what I'm allowed to say and even what, like, when that kind of stuff is coming anyway. But if that's something you guys like to see, let me know. Someone say my nickname for the first time. You're a god, Doug. Well, that's a miracle. I know I'm the guy who normally mispronounces everything wrong, so perhaps that worked in my favour. Oh man, King of the Hills is so easy to get people for. I literally just drop it in my Discord now. When I first started, like, I was always really worried about trying to get players in, so I think I gave like 2 weeks advance for like a 4-man tourney. And now it's quite like I just drop it in my Discord. And like, hey, King of Hill, starting in an hour, who wants to play? And it fills up quite quickly. Which is both a gift and a curse, you know, because a lot of people don't get to play then because too many people, you know, quicker on the draw, spend more time in Discord and so forth. But, you know, it is worth it overall. Why don't you try Nota? I don't know what that is, King of the Dead. What's the Noita? If you win best of 5 by 3-0, will you buy me Death Stranding? That's hilarious. Oh, that's Ronan saying that's puppy. I want you King of the Dead. This is it's getting hot and heated in chat, I see. The Chaos versus Bretonnia. This is the pretty wild matchup. I kind of want to see Kolek. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Archer's Peasant Bowman will tear him apart just through that consistent fire, but Kolek with a Mind Razor popped on him is just hilarious to me. I don't know. I just find it so funny that he just walks around with you. Pop Mind Razor on him, you pop Star Crusher, and you watch him just one-shot everything. It's so fun to watch, but I don't know if Atisti's going to go that way. There's a good chance we're going to see the Big Bird, perhaps. Archaon very good at killing cavalry as well, but he can get bogged down by the sheer mass of enemies. But who knows? Who knows? I'm hoping for a wild go-track pick here from Mofat, just so we can see some Dowie action. Yo, what's up, El Halcon? It has been a while, dude. How are you? This is the first semi-final. It's, yeah, we have Intensity 1-0 against Mofat here. The second semi-final is going to be Gobbo Slayer up against King of the Dead, and then a best-of-5 final to round it off. This is just qualifier number 1, so probably going to be weekly is what I'm going to aim for. So next week will be qualifier 2, 3, 4 and so forth. We're going to have 4 qualifiers as usual. The winner of each qualifier will book their place in the grand finals. And the grand finals will be held then at a date where I can get everyone together. And there is going to be a prize this year. It's going to be this really stupid thing I've got in mind, which is going to be really good fun. But at the same time, there's another prize which may end up being in there as well. But I'm keeping them a secret for now. That'll be a bit of a surprise for the day, I think. You're a mage. The game is a giant with all the content it has, but it's hard to tell. Sounds fun. I'll have to look into it, King. If you could send me like a link to the Steam page or trailer or something on Discord, I'd really appreciate it. As my memory is made of mushrooms. Oh, how'd it go, El Halcon? Yo, what's up, Viking? I'm liking the change to the Viking Total War as a name. Looks like he is ready. Intensity is ready as well. Let's rock and roll. Salt for the Salt God, indeed. Oh, he called you a cheeser. That's odd. Don't know if I've ever played up against El Halcón. I'm trying to think. But he's a really cool dude. So, that's weird. I'm sure he will take me down rather quickly, unfortunately. I'm very rusty at the game as well, so I'm going to be getting back into it soon, as I believe we are going to be having a DVD Extreme Meme Team Civil War relatively soon. It was meant to be yesterday, and then it got cancelled, and then Reaper back on, and we didn't have time to get a team together, so we'll hopefully do that in like a couple of weeks' time and have it streamed on the channel. At least he's not a piñapple. The Binding of Isaac. That sounds fun. There was a Steam summer sale on recently, that's why I got Hollow Knight. Which, just the art design of it looks really cool, so I was thinking of streaming it on the channel. Rolls off the tongue a little better, plus it gets the Viking across. And of course, we love Vikings. So, for the forces here of Enticity, who haven't scrapped his way back into the semi-final, in the front line he's gone for Chaos Marauders, which is, again, cheap, cheerful. They're going to do the same job they did last time for him and his Norscan forces, and they're going to be able to chew their way through peasants very, very quickly and efficiently. In a secondary line, we have Chaos Warriors with great weapons, 2 of those bad boys, as well as the Mirror Guard, who are just one of those units which hasn't aged at all. They look fantastic as always. These guys, of course, do have that immune to psychology, which can help out against, big, nasty flying griffins and the like. I actually really like the Chaos Warriors are great weapons. They can do some decent AP up against Cav as well. We do indeed have Kholek Sun Eater, Enticity, a man of the people, bringing the bad boy himself, the big old puppet of Dragon Ogres, and he does have Star Crusher, so let's hope he's brought the correct mage. It's a Chaos Sorcerer of Metal, but still pretty damn cool, coming in with just Final Transmutation, of course, very powerful spell. There's another Dragon Ogre Shagoff as well, so it looks like Kholek has brought his cousin with him. And we have triple Marauder Horsemen with thrown axes in the front line. Now, for the forces of Bretonia here, in a nice lance formation on this right-hand flank, we do have double Knights of the Realm. These guys, of course, are anti-large, and they can do fantastic shock damage up against the enemy in general. They're going to be a real nuisance for those Dragon Ogre Shagoffs to take down. In the front line, we have the Backbone, the elite of the elite, the Peasant Mob Forces. These guys are the definition of meat shield. They even have it in their little drop-down tab here. Poor leadership, apparently, but they believe in the heart of the people, and they will be here to die and take those initial charges. It's going to be a very flimsy front line though, trying to protect these peasant bowmen. I'm really worried the Marauders are just going to push through, but looks like he's hoping his Cav can hold back the enemy and hammer them down. Double mounted yeoman archers on the other side, as well as more Knights of the Realm, so much anti-large floating around, so do some decent work. Damsel of Life coming in with Earthblood, no regrowth though. We have Gotrek, as well as the Companions of Cornell, so regiment round questing Knights this time. And up in the skies, we do indeed have King Leon Kerr. Was there a wild Gotrek I saw? We have Gotrek as well. This build is a very anti-large design, which is going to be perfect for taking down Kholek as well as the Dragon Ogre Shagoff. But the front line is just going to disappear, and I'm quite worried they're just going to walk through them. But the hammering from the Knights, we're going to get so many good rear charges, nothing to really protect this back line. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare. Early skirmish going on over on the left-hand flank. Not a horseman just cackling and running away, and throwing that axes into these Knights of the Realm. Looks like they are going to get caught slightly here. What's their speed? They should be able to outrun these guys, I think. Anyway, over in the main engagement, we do have Knights of the Realm wrapped around here and hammering it into the sides of this formation, only killing Chaos Marauders though, and the peasants, of course, have already buckled, and this poor Damsel of Life is just getting whooped on. Where are the Knights to save their lady? They are floating too far out wide here. So many units are kind of compact here, like just trying to finish off one unit of Chaos Warriors, and then you want to finish them down, but these are your priority targets. Damsel of Life, though, very sticky as she's on foot. She's just kind of being thrown around and surviving. Mirror Guard have pushed through, but they are going to have to overextend if they want to take down these peasant bowmen. And it looks like Chaos are being hammered pretty damn hardcore here. The triple Marauder Horsemen are still active though, getting some nice axes into the Knights of the Realm, but that is going to be kind of a long-term goal. They're not going to be able to do damage incredibly quickly. Knights of the Realm getting absolutely whooped on here by Kholek, who's taking none of their crap. Gotrek is trying to get towards the foes he wants to take out, but they're simply going to jog away. Chaos Warriors will surround Gotrek, which is kind of one of his major problems. And the giant Wrecking Ball, which is Kholek Sun Eater with Star Crusher active, is isolating the Knights of the Realm at the moment. In comes the King, charging to his men, although a lovely Thunder Strike comes down. The Sword of Crone has been popped, so Kholek probably wants to get out of here at this point, as well as the Dragon Ogre Shagoff. Simply fall back, wait for that to disappear, and reappear back into the action. Looks like Chaos Warriors are running to the aid of their Liege Lord here. The Knights of the Realm do get terrified away, which is not very knightly of them. Bretonnian have been stretched relatively thin. They're clearing up some troops quite nicely. Mirrorguard's still kind of chasing these peasant bowmen miles away from the main engagement. And this is what Mofet needs to do. He needs to take his cab and just isolate all these troops. Look how many troops there are. 3 pickings of the force of chaos. Ignore the big blob fight for now. You have the mobility advantage. You don't need to take it. At the same time, he's doing some decent work. It looks like he has forced off some Chaos Warriors and terrified them for now. Kolek and the Dragon Ogre Shagoth were isolated for a second, but they're going to be floating over, just hunting away the mounted yeoman archers. They need to kind of group up with the Marauder Horsemen, so they can do some nice thrown axes into the cab if they do get a little bit too close. Then distance, Chaos Marauders are hunting down peasant bowmen, so that's a good pick here. However, the Mirror Guard have spent most of the game chasing when I think they could have been used much more effectively in the front line, but still, they are getting rid of kind of 3 units, even though they are all filthy peasants. More Chaos Marauders are going to be coming back as well. They should be able to hunt down the second unit of peasant bowmen here. And the thrown axes may be able to win the day here. They're getting some pretty decent, consistent damage onto the Knights of the Realm. Kolek is getting a tiny bit low. Consistent fire by mounted yeoman archers, focusing him down and doing some decent work. Earthblood has been popped on the king, and he's going after that Dragon Ogre Shagoth, doing some really decent work here. Stand or Die has been popped, and Kolek is in on the action now, pushing away his younger brethren and hunting down the king. And he's certainly going to be able to lay a whooping down on the king if the king comes into this unsupported. Thrown axes as well, pretty decent. Gotrek is going to be a pain in the late game. The idea for Chaos here is going to be trying to finish off the rest of their opponents, force them down, and then surround him at the death. As if he's allowed to stand and fight like this on top of Dragon Ogre Shagoths and the like, he's going to get some fantastic damage. Lovely Thunderbolt Strike does come down, but it looks like the Dragon Ogre Shagoth has been broken here. Balance of power goes in favour of the forces of Bretonnia. Down over here, Chaos Marauders once again hunting down peasant bowmen, just trying to finish them off where possible. Looks like the some of the Marauders are just starting to leave them and try to float back here. They certainly need to kind of mass up around Kolek, who is starting to struggle now a little bit. Simply trying to fall back now. Trying to rescue this Dragon Ogre Shagoth wouldn't be the worst plan in the world. The companions are getting incredibly low, but somehow still standing very strong here. They are simply going to get kited away though at this point and thrown axed to death. The Mounted Yeoman did switch their targets onto the Marauder Horseman, which is both a good and kind of worrying play. I don't know if he's going to need them late game to help finish off Kolek, so they may be wasting that ammunition, but at the same time it is helping save what remnants of knights he does have left. King has been slowed down here, and he has overextended himself quite hard. And it looks like Star Crusher has been active, but the Sword of Crone, with a fantastic counterpunch here, going to make Kolek very squishy indeed. And he still is whopping 743 weapon strength. The King is taking a whooping here from the forces of mankind. Oh, that's disgusting damage out the bat. Looks like he may break here. 3 huge slaps in a row. The sword does not matter in the eyes of Kolek when he has the Star Crusher. So the King will be able to just about rally here, and once again the Force of Chaos need to start to do a little bit of, skirmishing. Pull away from this engagement, you don't need to fight it. You have the thrown axes, so you can do some decent damage all round, while he brings back the rest of his troops. I mean, these peasant bowmen have a long way to come back to get into this main engagement. Looks like Kolek, though, going balls deep here, trying to take down the enemy. Companions of Quenelle have been routed here and forced back. Probably a good idea to disengage some of these Marauder Horsemen, chase those guys off, ensure they don't come back. There still is more Knights of the Realm in here as well. Kolek is a one-man wrecking ball at this point. Oh, just saying good luck, have fun, which is still good. And yeah, this damsel has certainly outlived her, Kolek's kind of appreciation for her. As she's giving constant Earthbloods there. Doing a pretty decent job overall. Kolek was getting a little bit of worrying there. Oh, a lovely final transmutation. I was about to say, I haven't seen any spells coming in yet from the Force of Chaos, and I think that is going to single-handedly win the game. Balance power does start to swoop back towards the middle as Knights of the Realm do get shattered here, and King Leon as well is nearly finished off. It looks like it was just a small one though, not a overcast. And now I think the Bretonnians realistically need to go on the run at this point, bring back all these peasant bowmen and try to get them to do some consistent damage. If Marauders push forward to take them down, you hop on them with the King and try and break them very quickly. This is a very close game here. Very good stuff indeed. So Archfire looks like it's going to Chaos Marauders here, which isn't their best target. Peasant mobs have been terrified as to be expected, and it looks like the Yeomen are out of ammunition as well. So very close game. The King desperately just floating around. He's at his healing cap here. Is there anything left which can stop Kolek? I think it's going to come down to Gotrek, and if you can get good engagements with him, as well as these peasant bowmen. What's left for Force Chaos? Yeah, Chaos Warriors are great weapons here. Mirror Guard, very healthy Mirror Guard. Full health Mirror Guard is deadly in this late game. They're going to be able to chew through a lot of this good stuff. I'd probably just take Chaos Marauders now and force them out wide and try and waste the Peasant Bowman Archer fire into them. Looks like more of the horsemen with thrown axes are pretty much spent at this point. There's a load of them go down there to a volley of fire. Looks like Mantis Yeomen are going to be using up the last of their ammunition on those guys, though. If they'd rallied, they'd have been really useful just to hop into the back lines and shut down these peasant bowmen. Looks like one unit is considering doing that. Some lovely juking coming by Anticity with Kolek. Just going to be dodging. He's in combat. He's fine. He can dodge all he wants. Chaos Warriors are going to be chewing through Mountain Yeomen here. Looks like some brave peasant mobs in the last quarter of the game here are going to be running in for glorious combat. And I wonder how quickly these guys are going to break. 5 seconds, maybe? Maybe I'm giving them a bit of a disservice here. They're going strong for now. They're eager, in fact, so they're doing a decent job. The King is lurking here. Probably best for his time, to be honest, at this point, with how low health he has, just to hunt down routing units and protect the archers where possible. No point going anywhere near Kolek. One more good smash, and that could be the King gone for good. More peasant mobs have been shattered here. More of the horsemen being used in close combat, which is fantastic to play. On top of the peasant bowmen, just trying to shut them down as much as possible. There's one unit here as well, so he's going to move his wrecking ball of the blob in that direction. However, there is more peasant bowmen left alive as well. This game is incredibly close. My one worry here for the forces of Bretonia is I haven't seen that many final transmutations. I may have just missed some. But if he has one left in the bag, kind of at the death, it will just instantly kill the King, and that would probably, you know, be a huge loss here to the forces of Bretonia. So Knights of the Realm are going to be floating into the back of the Lord of Horsemen. This is really nice play coming in here by Mofez. So isolating these guys when they try to shut down the peasant bowman, hopping on with everything he has, but it's a trap! As a huge thunderbolt is going to come out here. Looks like these guys are trying to move out of the way, but not quite quick enough, doing some really solid damage overall, but nothing too crazy. There's quite a few pummeled bodies on the ground, however. Looks like Mounted Yeomen are going down as well. Kolek still at 2,400 health, and Miragard still full health. They really need to get into Gotrek and try and drag him down, and that little dowie there may win the humans the game. More peasant archer fire is coming in. Kolek desperately trying to chase these guys where possible, and to be honest, he doesn't really have to worry about overextending anymore at all, because the only person who can catch him is the King, and he definitely doesn't want to get involved with that, and they kind of beat up units of Knights of the Realm. So he's simply going to float over, terrify these peasant bowmen, before flocking back to the centre pocket here. Chaos Warriors desperately charge in on Knights of the Realm with some lovely cycle charge coming in. Looks like they're going to get away as well with all of their lads still intact. Kolek now going to force his way into the back line on top of these peasant bowmen, which is a decent idea overall. Damsel Life is slowly being dragged down, but she doesn't have too many good targets left to heal, so I think Gotrek would be the priority here overall. Looks like the King does go in for a little charge. The Knights tried to go in for a charge, and Kolek's like, you know what, nope, 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 nope. And with a couple of big swings, he felled multiple Knights and starts dragging these guys down. He needs to push into the bowman now, though, otherwise he's going to take damage that he simply cannot afford to take here. Miragard have forced their way into the peasant bowman at least, so they'll be able to shut down one unit. But there's so many units of these guys left. They are running a little bit thin on ammunition, so I'll definitely target the ones who have, you know, a large amount of ammo. Ooh, this is risky. The King pops in, trying to finish off these marauders and help out Gotrek. A big slap coming in. Looks like the King does get away with it there, but I think this is what we think it is. A final transmutation, surely. Ooh, looks like he is going to be able to get away from Gotrek, however. Ooh, looks like, I don't know what's going down there. I thought that'd be a final transmutation, but it seems to be taking forever to cast for some reason. And it looks like a Sword of Crone has been popped as well, on top of the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Metal. What is this spell? Oh, is it an Earthblood and the mage wasn't close enough? I don't know. Hopefully that's not a bug, because that is huge if the King manages to escape, and that was meant to be a final transmutation. We'll have to wait and see. So Gotrek getting dangerously close to Kolek. He needs to keep on the move, and the peasant bowmen run really low on ammunition at this point. There is one unit in the back, though, who has an absolute ton left. And Kolek is taking so much damage, 1,300 health. He can still lay a whooping down on Gotrek if he gets decent charges. It looks like Anticity is just trying to juke at this point and waste the ammunition rather than coming in here and going in for the kill. He's landing the Chaos Sorcerer of Metal and Miragard here to take down Gotrek where possible. The Kolek, stand strong, buddy. 1,300 health is going to be charged into this unit and still has ammunition. And after that, there's just this one unit in the distance. So the King coming in for a very risky charge here, trying to save Gotrek. Looks like he's trying to go for the snipe as well on the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, but he's so low on health. This is so risky. And that poor damsel is going to be taking a big slap as well. Standard diet has been popped. But actually, if Gotrek keeps moving here, he probably wants to push back onto these peasant bowmen. I mean, he's going to have to risk a charge from the King, but if he gets one good slap on the King, that King dies. So it's kind of hard to tell. Big Earthblood has gone down, which is really useful as it is going to catch Gotrek as well as this Damsel, and the Damsel's still a character. Still do some decent damage into the late game here. And Peasant Bowmen have been terrified. The King is just exhausted floating around like this. His Bowmen have been forced off. Kolek still has 946 health, and these guys only have 5 rounds left. Anticity been fantastic so far with his Duke, and it looks like he has broken the majority of the Bretonnian forces here. The balanced power for the first time in the game goes a tiny bit in favour of the forces of Chaos. Now, the King wants to get that decent engagement up against Gotrek here. Or with Gotrek, sorry, on top of Kolek. But Kolek's simply going to be able to swoop around and stick with his boys. Those Mirror Guard actually chasing at the beginning, which I thought was kind of a bit of a misplay because they're out of the game for a huge amount of time, has actually kind of really helped Anticity here because they've come back in the late game and been a ridiculously strong backbone to this army. Damsel Life has been terrified here. Kolek just dancing around, which is having the best time here, hunting down peasants up to 120 kills. It's pretty good stuff. And we have 1 round left on this bowman, and Gotrek gets absolutely slapped there by Kolek. A huge stone mace, or kind of a hammer, sorry, to the face, but he breaks with the last volley of the peasant bowman. That is ridiculous. It looks like he is gone for the hills. Where is the King? The King stands firm. They can simply chase down Kolek now. He has to chase him off. This is a huge mistake. If he, oh, his troops have been terrified. I had a game up against Red Legion not too long ago where he had his Lord rallied. Oh no, he terrified off my Pterodon riders as he was retreating, and it won him the game. My god, that is insane. If those guys hadn't been terrified, they could have forced Kolek off the field and perhaps broken the Chaos forces. That was so close. That was so close. That was insane. What a game. Fantastic way to end the first semi-final there. GG. Crazy close. Played to both. GG. And see you in the finals. Anticity. That hit, did it? Yeah, that was pretty insane. That was ridiculous. What's up, Falcon? How's it going, my dude? That was, woo. That game was pretty damn ridiculous. So, Gobbo Slayer and King of the Dead, if you are listening, when these boys hop out, please do hop into the lobby, and we'll get going on the second semi-final. The first map up is going to be Grimhagen, which will be followed by Languil and Mirror Woods. What's up, Red Legion? How's it going, man? Hopefully you managed to catch that game. That was some ridiculously crazy stuff. Thank you. No worries, Mofet. Fantastic sport all tournament. Did some decent work. Oh no, it's this map. I'm going to change this. I didn't realise it was this one. Let's go. Let's swap that up. Because that map, I know a lot of people do dislike. So we'll go... Gorgazan. I think these guys might have already played on this, but it's worth it. Cool. See you in finals. Anticity. Get a couple of seconds or after, just give me a little nudge. Cool. Oh. I'm just going to kick him for that. And we'll wait for Gobbo Slayer. Don't know if I have... Oh! I've got a Slayer's friend. Perfect. So Anticity looking to book himself into the season finals early this year. Doing the same thing last year as well. I believe that he won the first one. Go, go, Gobbo. What's up, RNA? How's it going, man? Hoi, hoi. Looks like the boys are here. Hey. Gobbo is a fantastic sport as well. Played him a couple of times on ladder with a mixed success. Maps are Core Kazan. Cool. Maps are Gorgazan, Languil, and Mirror Woods. beat the Undead Menace. It's going to be tough. King is he's a bit of a wild card in any tournament he plays. He's kind of that player which can kind of win it on his day, and going to last season's finals as well. And I believe he was the king of season 3. We've had some awesome champs all round. We had Zach Bisane win the first one. Oh no, who won the second? Chosen One. It was Chosen One, then King, and then Tlaxlan Soothsayer. His knees are weak, his palms are sweaty. There's goblet vomit on his sweater already. Be right, going to the toilet real quick. No worries. Give me more time to chill with you guys. Which is all good. None of my maps. I'm sorry, Raptor. This isn't a King of the Hill. Raptor known for picking interesting maps all around. I love them. I do love your maps, Raptor, but they are very much more of a King of the Hill themed fin than serious maps. And the finals will be played on Maxon River, Schwesterhafen, Alpine Ridge, Valley of Thieves, and Southern Chaos Wastes. Just for a bit of a sneak peek there. Hey, ton of people watching. Welcome. The channel's grown quite a bit actually since I last did a stream, so good to see you guys here. Hope you are enjoying. Let's have a quick look. Make sure he's all good. Oh, cheers, King, if you are listening for... thanks, bud. Sending me the name of that game to check out. Let's check. It is going to be, yes, Gobbo to pick and ban first. Yarp. No one knows what YARP means, by the way. Please do watch the incredibly British kind of cult classic called Hot Fuzz. It's great. Well, I want a video where you sing Lose Yourself without any context. That'd be pretty damn funny. Or just kind of mixing in like Warhammer quotes. Like we could like rewrite Lose Yourself to have a kind of Warhammer raps. That'd be pretty funny. So Gobbo Slayer is going coast, saying coast a lot today, and banning Dwarfs and Empire, which is two fantastic ones to ban. Dwarfs, so good in that matchup. I love Dwarfs up against Vampire Coast and Empire simply because you can outshoot them, and they're two factions which like to, you know, go quite gun heavy quite often. Cool. Yeah, King was having a little look. Ooh, this is wild. Okay. We have Undead off once again to start off this best of 3, but this time it's not going to be quite a mirror. We're instead having Vampire Counts up against Vampire Coast. Now, I thought King Undead hated Vampire Counts. So this is quite an interesting pick, but maybe he's trying to prove once and for all he's the king of all the Undead factions, going to be bringing these guys, Tomb Kings and Vampire Coast maybe, who knows. But a ton of Undead today. And no Dowie. I smell bombers. Oh yes, I smell many a bomber. I think there's going to have to be a relatively... I smell... Do you think deck droppers or just regular bombers? I mean, regular bombers are going to be fantastic here, but at the same time, Vampire Counts are pretty good at swarming as far as it goes with fell bats and summons to shut those kind of guys down. But if they're on guard mode, they'll take ages to die to those units and can still do some, you know, decent damage all round. But yes, good to see so many new faces and old faces. If you are enjoying, please do feel free to smack that thumbs up button, subscribe, give me high fives, and, you know, it's all good stuff. Now, I haven't said this in a while, so those people new to the channel who don't know my policy on kind of how my channel is run, every time someone hits a like button or a subscribe button, a puppy is born into the world, which is a pretty crazy and magical thing. We've recently as well kind of gone on to kittens and little ducklings and all that good stuff, so... You're bringing new life into the world. Looks like King is ready, so it looks like he had a build in mind. Son of Khan. That is true. Can't be King of Dead when you don't like all the Undead factions. That is true. So it looks like maybe he's trying to prove us a little bit wrong here and showing his late appreciation for the Vampire Counts. But good to see you here, dude. Happy Puppy, if you are in chat, do you have any tournaments coming up? Because I need to get back into playing relatively soon. Happy Puppy is a rather awesome Twitch streamer who streams this game pretty much every day. I think she's a little under the weather today, so I think she streamed, but And if if someone unsubs, what happens? Dead puppy. Oh. No. If you unsub, I just an angel dies. Not an angel, a fairy. So it's not such a big loss. But you don't get the puppy though, which is the problem. Bretonus is strong. I mean, Britannia did okay up against Chaos. I'm all good, Red Legion. I'm a little bit ill today, but luckily it seems that adrenaline has kicked in, so my voice is going to be ruined for tomorrow, I'm afraid, but it's all good. I've had like a sore throat and headache and all that kind of just boring cold stuff. But anyway, without further ado, let's hop in it and check out Gobbo Slayer representing the extreme meme team here, going hard. And it looks like there are going to be bombers galore, and oh my god, I'll get to this absolute lad in just a second. So, for his front line, he's going to have a mixture of deckhand mobs as well as the polearm variety. Looks like some chevrons on those guys as well. In other words, cheap and cheerful chaff, which is all you need up against the counts here, just to try and hold them back for as long as possible, while the rest of his army does the true damage here. As for the rest of the army, it looks like he does indeed have some bombers. Looks like it's just the 2 units, just 2 units of those bad boys, and 3 units of the gunners as well. Just a bit more long-range firepower, help take down the big, nasty single entities as well. He has double crab, so coming with the vampire fleet captain of vampires, Invocation Heck and Raised Dead, as well as a power stone, as well as a vampire fleet captain of the deep, once again coming with a power stone. As well as Spiteful Shot to give magic damage, which is a really nice pick here. We saw how powerful that was in the last best of 3 as well, going to help against those ethereal units. And Denzines of the Deep, allowing some Rotten Promethean summons. But the main part of his army I want to focus on here is this glorious unit, the Gallows Giant, Regiment of Renowned Necrofex Colossus, spurts flaming fire of doom, which is pretty damn cool, and I can say doing very decent work up against kind of the mass chaff you're going to face up against the vampire counts. We have Luther Harkin up in the skies, coming in of course with his usual abilities. Looks like he's got Hornswaggle as well as the Death Shriek. Pretty fun build. Going to be taking high ground as well and making everyone proud. As long as he does advance and stuff, that'd be cool. So we have the Vampire Counts over here for the force of King of the Dead. Skeleton Warriors in the front line. These guys are about to chew through chaff a little bit faster than zombies, so I actually quite like that as a front line. A ton of Graveguard in the next line, including the Sternsmen, Regiment Round version, who are incredibly sticky. So it looks like going for a bit of just a melee rush build. We have Fellbats up in the sky as well for some backline harass. We have Black Knights on either flank, which can do some pretty good cycle charging damage all round. We have a Corpse Cart with an Unholy Lodestone, double Banshee, which is going to be getting in there and just focusing down characters where possible. However, they have to be incredibly careful. If that magic damage is popped down on top of Luther Harkin, he can swoop in these guys and destroy them in a matter of seconds. Looks like we have Manfred von Carstein on foot as well, something you don't get to see terribly often. Coming in with Master of the Black Arts, Raised Dead, and of course Invocation of Nehek. So I hope you boys are strapped in here for what is no doubt going to be an absolute grind. Good luck, have fun all round, as both forces advance here. I overslept the toilet by 4 hours, no worries, Dactor. I was wondering where you were, man. Ducky, may you change names on banners? Ah, yes, I will. I'll do that after the game, apologies for that. I will change that after this game, I completely forgot that. So, it looks like Luther Harkin just flying forward, just saying hello to these skeleton warriors here, doing some, little bits of poke, killing some units early on. They really want to be using that pistol just to focus down at Manfred von Carstein for the most part. Black Knights looks like they're coming up for some early charges here, perhaps, getting really aggressive early on by King of the Dead. Just going to be floated into the side, but does decide to fall back as the polearms are dangerously close. And the Gunny Mob gets back into position here as the slow advance does begin. Looks like he's going to be trying to block in the enemy where possible. Plenty of room to wrap around as well. Gallows Giant up to a mighty 7 kills already, focusing down at the Graveguard. He actually probably wants to hop on top of the Sternsman. These guys have regeneration, so that fire damage is going to be extra nice to these guys. Oh, look at that damage on Manfred as well. Really nice damage out of the gate here by the Gallows Giant. Black Knights have floated in on top of the deckhand mobs, trying to break these guys down as quickly as possible to make breaking through that front line even more quickly when the mainline fight does get underway. Double Banshee have been popped on top of the Gallows Giant here, going to be able to do some really decent work. A Taunt has been popped on one, as well as a Hornswaggle, and we do see Spiteful Shot hit down on Luther Harkin, and look at this Banshee just melt It's desperately trying to get away. There's been a summon of zombies as well in order to help it. And it's getting a little bit stuck here and pinned in on its own troops, but so is Luther Harkin, so the Banshee may yet be able to get away. It's a really nice play because it's going to be getting rid of that spiteful shot. It was overcast as well. It takes a decent amount of winter magic. Down here, it looks like the gun mobs have been isolated by skeleton warriors and slowly being pulled down. Pole arms as well, doing an okay job. They are fighting Black Knights here, trying to chew their way through bombers. But a very kind of back and forth affair so far. Balance power a tiny bit in favour here of the Vampire Coast, probably due to the fact that the hero core for them is just going so much stronger than these poor Banshees who are being beaten down. Spiteful Shot, well upgraded, lasts an absolute age here. And they're doing really decent work. Manfred is having to chuck himself in here to try and pin in Luther Harkin and save these Banshees. As a Spiteful Shot still active though, these Banshees are risking it all here. And you can see that's Terrorgeist not too happy. Indication the heck has been popped down. Banshee is feeling the burn here, down to 580 health. And is probably going to go down here. Indication heck trying to keep it active, and Luther Harkin has now lost his magic. The Gallows Giant is roasting some of his own troops by the looks of it. Black Knight is floating around still. These guys pretty much spent and done for. You can see double Grave Guards stuck on one unit of polearms. They try and wrap around as much as possible and get on top of some more juicy targets. Looks like the bombers, unfortunately, for Gobbo Slayer didn't get to do too much work, only up to kind of a pitiful number of kills there. Looks like 13 at the moment, which isn't fantastic. Looks like Luther Harkin coming down for the snipe attempt on Manfred von Karstein, who has been taunted here as well. The Banshees, though, are going to get in here and do some decent poke. As long as that magic damage isn't active on Luther Harkin, they can do some okay work. Skeleton Warriors are slowly being dragged down. It looks like there are Grave Guard though pushing into the back lines as well as some summoned zombies, so all is not lost just yet for the forces of the Vampire Counts, but the main battle line is starting to waver pretty badly, and the key units are still alive for Gobbo Slayer, and he has plenty of summons left in the back as well to keep these guys from being too isolated. Apologies about that, guys, my sore throat's slowly catching up with me. Gallows Giant is looks like it's going to be aiming some shots up to 177 kills, doing some really decent work. Could be launching some shots into the Grave Guard. Well, tiny little spurt there, but happens to us all, buddy, don't worry there, he's trying his best. A nice shriek attack coming by Luther Harkin, who does have Spiteful Shot active. Going to be hunting down those Banshees, and he's a menace here. Hornswoggle has been popped as well. Manfred trying desperately to help bring him down, but honestly at this point I think Luther is going to be able to carry this by deleting one Banshee. There she goes. Spiteful Shot once again has been upgraded, so now he can simply turn and attack this Banshee here. Although it might be worth just finishing off Manfred at this point, he's relatively low himself. Balance power though has been in the favour of the coast for a little while, and another summon coming down as well. Is it Rotten Prometheans? It is indeed. These guys are going to be an absolute menace now at this point. They're going to be able to clump some of these Grave Guards with decent efficiency, and they can even surround the corpse cart and just make sure they get rid of it and finish it off for good. Balance power does waver more and more in favour here of the Gobbo Slayer, trying his best here to pull down this last Banshee, who's simply floating away. Rotten Prometheans trying to block her in a little bit before she's feral, so she's just floating around. We do have another zombie summon as well popped in, just trying to keep his units protected where possible. Spiteful Shot still is activated, and this Banshee is toast. And with the Banshees gone, is there anything left which can really finish off the mighty Gallows Giant as well as Luther Harkin? I don't think so. There's a lot of Grave Guard which, over time can do some decent work, but there's still another Rotten Promethean summon in the bag. We have Cycle Charging by Luther Harkin, which can't come into play. And this Gallows Giant as well, still pretty decent in melee. Looks like some sniper shots are going down on Manfred from Luther up in the skies, cackling and trying to prove once and for all you don't need magic to be a true vampire. The shriek attack does come in. It looks like this is going to be the end, unfortunately, for King of the Dead's first round, but he still has plenty of time to come back into this series. So it looks like armor losses probably going to set in just a second. All the forces are starting to waver and crumble. King fighting to the death here, which is pretty admirable as well. He has some... he's lost all his summons, I suppose. The problem is, it looks like he could isolate all these vampire coast units. Grave Guards drag them down over time, but there's still so many summons left that it's going to be a bit tricky. Looks like the Stonesmen are starting to waver there a little bit as well. Gallows Giant is now safely away from all their enemies, up to 287 kills. It's scary stuff. He's lining up another shot as well, and down he goes, just roasting a few of those guys. Armor losses sets in, and the Gobbo Slayer has slain the king, or has he? duck equivalent of a tier and forget names and scores. It's indeed, it has happened. The duck hunt. Gobbo, what a beast! What an absolute beast! Doing very good there. 297 kills on the Gallows Giant. But really, the play for me was Vampire Fleet, Captain of Deep, giving that magic damage to Luther Harkin, and then just finish off the Banshees. And without those Banshees, King was always going to struggle. Good army. See, real recognise real, as they say. King of the Dead. Give him praise. So the next map is going to be... There we go. I think Aloof on the guy should be a super weapon. He is very powerful. So let's try to switch this up. So it was 2-1 to Intensity, that first game. So apologies about not changing this. Gobbo Slayer, the man of the people right now it seems, is up to 1. Whereas King of the Dead is currently on 0. But as we saw from the previous game, that means nothing yet. So King is going Tomb Kings and banning Counts and Empire. Should be some good fun. What's up, Ninja? How's it going, bud? That was some pretty cool stuff indeed. Ends up with Gobbo first round. Zutron, you did good, man, though. Didn't you want to go 2-1? And yeah, you sent me the screenshots, man. They were some really close games. I think you said you choked a bit on the last one, unfortunately, but, you know, going 2-1 against Gobbo Slayer, or going out of a tournament 2-1 to Gobbo Slayer is nothing to be ashamed about, man. It's all good. Ooh, it's been awesome so far. The whole tournament's been really good. We've had so many good players in it. I think we had, well, off the top of my head, I think we had 35 players competing today. I think that might be right. Was I've 35, 25? Let's have a quick little look for you guys. Yeah, 35 players. So these guys have been playing since 4 PM here. It's currently 10 to 9. So it's been a long day for these guys. So going into tournaments like this really kind of stretches your stamina of playing as well. So you know, massive shout out to these guys for going this long. And obviously being patient, waiting for other games to finish. King had quite a tough run in the end. He had to go up against Darv Plays, who was my dark horse actually to possibly win. He was on a bit of a roll. He managed to take out Giles, who's a very good player, took out Stormrunner, who's a very good player, but came up just a bit short, I think, 2-1 to the King. And Gobbo Slayer as well had to go through some very tough oppositions. There was certainly a couple of kind of death brackets which people didn't want to find themselves in. I think Gobbo Slayer emerged from one of them victorious. It's good to see his Extreme Meme Team buddies supporting him today. Oh, and the Gobbo Slayer is going Dwarfs. This is fantastic. I want to see some Dwarf action. Unfortunately, no Krakadrin, but you know, I'll take what I can get. There's still a chance we'll see Ungrim. Looks like Gobbo Slayer is indeed ready. So a quick sip so my voice doesn't completely die. That's the good stuff. Sweet. Oh, wow, we've broken the 50 mark. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you are enjoying. If you are new and you've only recently found us, this is a Total Warhammer 2 channel. Do all good things Total War, so feel free to stick around, subscribe, like, all that kind of good standard YouTube stuff. And there is no prize pool for this tournament here. The winner will be qualifying for the finals, and in the finals there will be kind of a big prize, which should be some good fun. Good stuff all round. And yes. I'm going to be back in 2 seconds, guys. I just want to turn my lights on, but it's literally like the other side of the room. And I'm back. So, hopefully no one missed me that much in those 0.5 seconds. I can actually see my surroundings. So, Tomb Kings versus Dwarfs is a pretty fun matchup overall. I think the Dowie certainly have the tools here. Slayer's very good up against big constructs and the like. You've got bolt throws to try and take down your Shopti, but King of the Dead is a master of Tomb Kings. One of the best Tomb King players in the game. I'm trying to think of kind of other people who main Tomb Kings. There's not too many of them. So I'm sure he has a couple of tricks up his sleeve here to try and take down that pesky Gobbo Slayer and to fight back and get his crown. This long tourney is so damn hard at the end. I'm exhausted after just 2 games. Yeah, man, honestly, massive shout out to the players. Like, to keep going, and it's pretty tough. I certainly feel for them. I was talking to Darv actually in a stream not too long ago. It's like when you just stream, and I've had them go on for like 5 hours before, and you'd think because you're not playing you don't get tired, but it wears you down. So doing both at the same time is even harder. Should be some good stuff. I was lost stuck. Those 0.5 seconds felt an eternity of hell, a pit of despair. I have returned, puppy, to save you. I have returned. The return of the duck. Yeah, we had a holiday last week. It was super nice. Still managed to upload a load of videos. I was pre-recorded them basically, but that's why there was no streams kind of the last couple of weeks because I was busy doing that. I just went around, visited some family, friends, and all that good stuff. Went on a load of hikes. And just chilled out. So I'm kind of back, nice and refreshed. The Viking long tournament, we haven't even reached the 7-hour mark yet. That is true. Viking also known for his long tournaments. And being a very good player himself. Oh, I'm not doing that again, Raptor. I'm doing a Clan War stream again, but we're not doing that format. That was ridiculous. We had like 7 3v3s or something. Which now we changed the format, so we do a lot of 1v1s and a couple of 2v2s and stuff, which is much funner. But basically all the shops around me had closed, and because we'd started it pretty early, I hadn't gone and bought food. So I had to like order takeaway midstream and like go down and pick it up. It was a nightmare. The old days in Fresh Recruits and Double Limb and everything was streamed, yeah. Yeah, I think it was against RTK was our first one. No, it was the Extreme Meme Team one, the original one we did, which was really long. The RTK one was really good fun as well, though. I'm going to be trying to play in the next one as well, because I played in that one, it was some good fun. I think that was the first time I met Prussian Prince, actually, in that game. Anyway, without further ado, let's hop in here. So the Gobbo Slayer coming in with the Dowey boys. It's hard to root against someone who has brought the dwarfs, but at the same time, you know, King, absolute champ. So I don't know how I want to win this. I'm mixed feelings. I want this game to go all the way, but at the same time, it's the dwarfs. So we have dwarf warriors in the front line, mixed in with longbeards, who are chevron up to silver chevron here. Those are some rock hard longbeards. We have the Peak Gate Guard as well, regiment-renowned hammerers, who are doing some pretty decent work overall. Don't get to see these guys too often, but Armour Sundering is quite nice here. More dwarf warriors just into sunset though. So going very wide, dwarf warriors, longbeards, pretty standard stuff. We do have the Norgrim Ironbreakers as well. What is this? Elite Dowie build, I love it. Norgrim Ironbreakers with their fantastic colour scheme, may I point out. Regiment Ironbreakers, tough as nails, immune to psychology, all that good stuff. Eckrant Miners as well, who do come with extra blast and charges. So hopefully these guys will be placed in a secondary line so they can ensure they get all their damage out. I feel like we may have a box build coming on. We have Iron Drakes with Chorehammer torpedoes as well. Fantastic at taking down constructs if they can hit them. You know, constructs can move around quite a lot. We have Dragonback Slayers as well, regiment Slayers who slow down their enemy, get in there and hack their limbs off. And Grombrindle, the White Dwarf himself, who does have his Grombrindle Knows No Fear, to make the whole army unbreakable for a limited amount of time, as well as Flash Bomb, which will be really useful for slowing down those constructs when they get in the centre pocket. Probably insane build, but it is going to be a bit of a box build of death. Good luck, have fun. Looks like King is ready. And for King, up in the sky, a couple of units of Carrion for backline harass. His front line is a mixture of Skeleton Warriors and Nekakar Warriors. Nekakar Warriors can do decent here. They have pretty decent damage output, despite the fact that, you know, dwarves are heavily armored and these guys don't have ridiculous AP or anything, but they can chew through them without taking too much damage. More Skeleton Warriors, Nekakar Warriors all across the front line. And it's going to be kind of a little bit of a ride off the chariots here, which is what you expect. We have Setcher the Imperishable up on top of his mighty chariot. Now, this does come with a con. He does do magic damage, unfortunately. So if your opponent brings a rune lord on top of the anvil, he really struggles to actually fight that guy. But still, coming in with Setcher the Imperishable and a ton of skeleton chariots as to be expected. We have a Cameron War Sphinx as well, just to push into that back line. And 1 unit of Chosen of the Gods with great bows. Now, this is going to be pretty interesting. Oh, it looks like we also have Skeleton Horsemen over on the flanks in Deep Vanguard. The Dwarves are actually going to have to advance here. The Shoptier is going to be able to outrange the Iron Drakes by a considerable amount. Simply focus those guys down, or focus down the Peak Gate Guard, some of those decent targets, start racking up some huge value. Looks like the Dwarves are going to want to fight in the trees here where possible, but King doesn't have to if he doesn't want to engage there. Simply slowly roll, slowly advance, push up with the Shoptier, and start sniping out the enemy. Sorry, I was looking for it lasted much longer. That is. What's up, Stormrunner? How's it going, my dude? Hope you're all good in the hood. So let's have a quick look through chat, make sure there was no burning questions or anything anyone had spotted. Looks like we're all good. So yeah, it's going to be pretty good fun. I mean, Setcher is going to be an absolute beast on top of his chariot, managing to ride down the Dowey, but it's a pretty strong box build overall. Good luck, have fun by both players. So the Dwarfs are starting to advance it, which is all good to see. And at the same time, though, they're going to get pulled into the open relatively quickly, I think. Your Shoptier is simply going to ping them down. So what do they have? Got Peak Gate Guard and in the centre pocket, but Iron Drake Triumph Torpedoes at the only range. These guys will whop in 90 range, which isn't going to do too much compared to the Shoptier wherever they have dawdled off to. Looks like they've gone around the flanks. Do obviously come in with an absolute whopping 255, so they should be absolutely fine. Looks like a few torpedoes are being coded up in the air here, trying to take down the carrion. Needs to take these guys off far at will. That is definitely a waste of ammunition. So they're going for it, which is pretty damn funny. Shopsy have lined up here. Dwarfs will need to advance in a second. Is he advancing anywhere else? Doesn't look like it. Looks like he just wants to sit here. He's not fighting anything. There he goes. Cool. That's fun. He's okay. He's like sitting back waiting to see if the carrion would land, but they're not going to, so he's going to be pushing forward where possible. And then the Chosen Gods aren't in the greatest position anymore, as the Dwarf Force is going to emerge down here behind the trees, so they're going to have to just sprint all the way back around to this side before unloading some shots. But it should be pretty safe. There's no mobility really with this Dwarf build, no gyrocopters, nothing to really kind of threaten them over there on the flanks. So what King's probably going to do is just kind of slow road this as much as possible, and then drag down the Dairy forces where he can. Miners can do some huge damage to this front line with the blasting charges as well as those iron breakers. So he's trying to stick to the forest for as long as physically possible here, as he does advance after the Chosen of the Gods. Going to be pushing forward, trying to keep as much here. Looks like chariots are going to be darting in into the back lines. The skeleton horsemen here as well are lurking, just waiting for opportunity to pop on top of those iron drakes. In come the chariots there. Looks like the dwarves were braced, and dwarves have decent mass overall, so not taking too much damage here on the charge. Let's see, is he... Okay, he is moving up currently with his iron drakes and stuff. I'll have to keep an eye on it, because obviously he's going to want to stick in the trees as much as possible. Skeleton chariots just floating back and forth at this point. Dragonback Slayers are advancing with the Iron Drake Trollhammer torpedoes. We're trying to counter-shoot where possible. Chosen the Gods just waiting to get in some decent targets. Dwarf Box now does once again start to move forward. Looks like the shots were launched into Norgrim Ironbreakers here. Not making too much of a dent though, to be honest. Chariots are starting to move in as well. These guys are going to be fantastic at just running over these dwarf warriors who are now on the move, so you can see the difference compared to when they were braced, and they're going to push through. Dragonback Slayers will slow them slightly, and a flash bomb has gone down here. This could be a bit of a disaster if these chariots get caught too much. They're trying to use their mass to pull away here, but this skeleton chariot is taking an absolute pounding. Dragonback Slayers and Grombrindle getting in here and just flattening some of these bad boys. That two-handed axe needs to get swinging, lad. Needs to hop on top of these skeleton chariots and pull them down. But, yeah, decent damage all round. Shopti, on the other hand, making the Norgrim Ironbreakers pay for their lord's doing here. These guys do some decent work all round. Chariots have managed to fall back through the trees. One unit is completely fine, have the other to get down to about half health. Still 7 models though, so it's not the end of the world for them. They did some, a little bit of damage back to the Dwarf Warriors, but this entire time the Norgrim Ironbreakers are taking an absolute pounding here from the Shopti. Might be worth shooting the Peak Gate Guard, I think. Really hammering those guys down and getting rid of them, because the Ironbreakers aren't going to be able to really touch the Cameron War Sphinx like the Peak Gate Guard will, or the Trollhammer torpedoes. We have kind of been launched on by some carrion who are feasting quite happily on these guys, but the Peak Gate Guard are going to turn around and be like, no, it's hammer time, and it's going to beat the snot out of these carrion who are a bit of a mismicro there, charging those guys in, I think. The War Sphinx does just go for a Leroy Jenkins here. Pops into the centre pocket. Going to use his weight to try and get out of here. Trollhammer torpedoes a little bit slow there to re-engage on these guys. And it looks like they should be able to flee for the most part. Protection has been popped in this guy. I don't know if they really needed it. But King Dead, very good attacking from multiple angles in one go. Popped in with the Sphinx, dragged away some of these forces, then hit them with these skeleton chariots here. Who doing okay work overall. Nothing too crazy so far though. Horsemen are lurking as well. And the Shopti up to 31 kills here on the Norgrim Ironbreakers, which isn't too bad. Dwarves trying to countercharge these skeleton horsemen where possible. I mean, that's all he can do at the moment. He could move out of the forest a little bit more and kind of try and pressurize the skeleton warriors, but it looks like he's simply going to be trying to counter his opponent where possible, so he still is kind of moving forward and attacking where possible and just kind of eating the shots of the chosen of the gods. Looks like they have switched their attention here to the Peak Gate Guard, who are in a terrible position because they're stacked on top of the rear of some Longbeards as well. So that's great value for these guys all around. So it looks like Dwarf forces are re-engaging now. Looks like the Iron Drake Trollhammer torpedoes are starting to push forwards. Which could do some decent work overall. Looks like we do have one more unit of Carrot in the back who can come in and try and avenge their brethren later on. Horsemen got caught up, unfortunately, a little bit as well. Gombrino is miles too far wide here. Looks like Incantation Protection still on the War Sphinx as those Iron Drakes try their best to take them down. Horsemen are engaging over on this flank, and Shopti still quite happily shooting in at this point. Up to relatively decent 38 kills considering us up against elite troops. Looks like the War Sphinx as well loosened some arrows from its back as well. I always forget it has those. Peak Gate Guard taking a bit of a hammering here, which I suppose is ironic actually considering they are hammerers. And the Chariots simply going to be cycling into Eternity here where possible, while the Slayers literally bounce around and try and chase units. Bofar going into Peak Gate Guard, doing some really good damage on top of these guys, now down to about half health. Where are the Ironbreakers as well? Some Dwarf Warriors very low. Ironbreakers haven't fallen back as well, but also down to about half health, which is some pretty heavy loss, but at the same time, that's like ammunition is not going to come back either. Chariots roaming through. Karen as well are swooping now on top of these Iron Drakes. So it looks like he's going for a bit of an alpha strike, coming with etc. And Sphinx, all this good stuff. Just trying to overwhelm the Iron Drakes. And the Slayers are out of position. They were trying to hunt down at some skeleton horsemen in the back lines there. So this is a nice play so far by King, trying to dissect this box build. It's pretty tough overall to pull it apart. It's been very well managed so far by Gobbo Slayer, as far as like keeping formation and trying to keep his Slayers bouncing around. Trollhammer torpedoes are going to be able to weather this storm, it looks like, as the Shopti down to just 45, up to 45 kills, but down to 0 ammunition now, which means the Tomb Kings are going to have to start committing to some fights as well. Peak Gate Guard taking a bit of a stomping as well. Loads of blast charges are coming in, doing some okay work as well from the trees. And the Skeleton Horseman lurking around the outside here. Trollhammer torpedo is basically just consistently missing the War Sphinx here. Good micro by King to dodge those shots. Karen do chuck themselves in on top of the miners, probably just trying to waste some blasting charges, which they're doing pretty successfully here. And now the Tomb King forces do have to advance, and it's looking a little bit rough, honestly. He's done some good damage, but at the same time, Skeleton Warriors and Ekar Warriors aren't going to be enough to kind of pull down all these mighty dwarfs, and their elite troops are still alive, albeit a little bit, worse for wear, damage-wise. Chariots up to 34 kills, 22 kills, and 1 kill on Cetra. The Magic Chariot kind of is a gift and a curse, because of course dwarves do combat magic resistance. And so that Sphinx drops in only a few shots today. Let's have a little look. Yeah, that's quite a bit there. It's not too bad. Dwarf Warriors having isolated out on this flank here. Looks like some Skeleton Warriors going to go say hello. Might be worth pushing up the Sphinx as well. Ekar Warriors taking an absolute pound in here from the blasting charges. And it's looking a little rough for King, honestly, at this point. He's trying to work his way back into this best of 3. But Gobbo standing strong with his Dwarf Warriors here. Such the Impenetrable going to be coming in for a lovely flank charge down here. These Dwarf Warriors who will simply break them quickly. Ooh, the glory. The glory. Look at those kills start to rack up. They're up to 9 kills, 10 kills. And he slowly pushes through. It also disrupts these Longbeards. And they're getting dragged down pretty hardcore here. Iron Drake, Trollhammer still doing a decent job. It looks like, let's see where the blast charge is going. Norgrim Ironbreakers throwing them into Skeleton Warriors, doing some okay damage. It looks like the miners throwing them into the front line as well. This blaster charge really needs to clear out some of this chaff. There's quite a lot that's still lurking about. Cetra does manage to hop on top of the Iron Drakes at this point, as well as the shop to actually push it into the back line. Doing some decent work. Incantation of the Cursed Blades as well, popping down these guys, making them pretty decent melee combatants. Those miners doing some really good work, up to 31 kills just off blasting charges into the back line. some pretty good stuff all round. War Sphinx is having a happy time as well, hopping back and punishing these troops. So if he can finish off the Hammerers and the Iron Drakes, I suppose there's still the White Dwarf. It's going to be tough for King, honestly. I'm trying to see ways that he can kind of win this game. The Sphinx is what I was kind of thinking. It's very powerful. Dwarfs aren't necessarily fantastic at taking these guys down as far as like longbeards and stuff goes. But it says the White Dwarf can go toe-to-toe anything in the game, really. He's very powerful, legendary warrior. Still has the Hammerers, still has the Iron Drakes. It's looking pretty rough. Brindle has no fear, has been popped as well, and a lovely flash bomb is going to pin in this War Sphinx. He's now surrounded by Dragonback Slayers. The Hammers could even turn and engage as well. So the White Dwarf needs no help, just as I say that he does go flying into the front lines. The Sphinx not too happy about being flash bombed there. The Shopty Summon does come down as well, going to help finish off these Peak Gate Guard and keep the War Sphinx nice and active. Very close game though, well played to both players so far, good game management. Dwarf Warriors, looks like there's a couple of units who need to get microed again and move back into the front line. There's no need to kind of protect the back lines now anymore. Iron Drakes are slowly being dragged down here and pulled apart. Up to 29 kills though, they've done a decent job all around. That War Sphinx is just jumping around like a little kitty cat who's far too excited at this point, kind of crushing troops all round. And it's not going terribly. The front line is basically buckled here for King. He's going to be left with his single entities, which does often happen with Tomb Kings, but against this many dwarfs, that is not a happy proposition at all. Skeleton Chariots in the back lines, up to 51 kills, and some fantastic work up against these dwarf warriors. And, you know, not too bad so far from the Chariots, but they've not been crazy good either. I mean, I suppose there wasn't too much of the back line to kind of break into and do, like, you know, too much damage. Skeleton Warriors are trying to wrap around the flank at this point as the War Sphinx does try to dart away here, but it is getting shot all the time by those Trollhammer torpedoes. Now, one thing I love about these guys is how durable they are. They only have 21 model count as far as the unit goes, but they have so much armor that they actually can survive a decent amount of backline pressure. And it looks like this could be it, guys. King may be falling early. In a 2-0 perhaps. Cetra does ride in there and is still very healthy as well. War Sphinx pouncing on top of some Longbeards. But still 20 Dragonback Slayers active, Iron Drakes are alive, Brindle having the time of his life with a third flash bomb of the game, pinning in this War Sphinx. Cetra very unhappy about this, does a dive into the White Dwarf himself. You can see those horses going to be nipping at his beard there, trying to do what they can. Sphinx coming over as well, perhaps trying to assassinate the Dwarf, but he's, you know, a durable fellow all round. Comes in with a decent armor, coming in with 120, decent stats as well. And it looks like the Dwarfs are going to seal the deal here. There's even some Dwarf Warriors coming back, a couple of units there, hidden in the distance. Some more Dwarf Warriors are rallying to the cries of the White Dwarf. Sphinx is about to drop, and then it's going to be Cetra versus the world. We'll finally, you know, sort out that age-old burning question of, is Cetra actually imperishable, or is it just a name? So, current War Sphinx is 460 health here, going to be going down, trying his best to finish off the Iron Drake Trollhammer torpedoes, but I don't think it's quite going to be enough, I'm afraid. Peak Gate Guard, up to 60 kills, did decent work all round, considering half their health did get kind of destroyed before the start of the battle by those Shopty. And Cetra trying his best, but the White Dwarf is a mighty combatant, going to be dragging down Cetra here. A couple of swings there. He's going to go for the big overarching two-handed swipe. No, goes for a bit of a low blow on Cetra, trying to pull him down. And, surprised how even the balanced power is still. Looks like everything stopped moving. I was worried there for a second that way it had some kind of crash. Looks like Gobbo wants to let Brindle finish off Cetra himself, which is pretty funny stuff. He's doing a decent job. He's doing a decent job. It looks like he managed to go down here, which is kind of amusing. But he does in fact rout. That is rather embarrassing in front of all your men, in fact routing off the field. As Iron Drake's desperately trying to hold. I can't resist a good box.
They are in the great book of grudges.
No worries, guys. Looks like Gobbo Slayer maybe typing or something, because he's not actually moving his forces at this point, but to be honest, even if he didn't, I think he'd be in pretty good shape. And down Cetra goes. Cetra does not serve, so you say. So you say. He always comes back for the next battle, indeed. Yeah, good micro by both players, honestly. That was some good stuff. GG's. King did, absolute true champ, fighting his way through against some tough opposition, but the Gobbo Slayer has become the King Slayer. 100 kills on top of those Norgrim Ironbreakers, 60. I love, like, elite dwarf. It's kind of funny that he did go for the box, though. GG. Good luck. No worries, man. Good sport as always, King. Always. I was legit worried about Cetra killing my army. I mean, he couldn't cycle charge anymore, so I think he was a little bit stuck. Yeah, without cycle, it's always going to be tough. So, Antisti, if you are watching, please do a hop in. We're going to have the old classic, which is Extreme Meme Team versus ODM final. We don't hate. I know you guys don't hate. I know you joke about it. It's cool, don't worry. Are you going to run because both you're dead? Not on your life, son. Not on your life. Yeah, GG, King, man. Fantastic, man. Here we go. Hey. So, Amaxon River is the map. Alright, so River Amaxon, isn't it? Amaxon River. Great games. So I'll change scoreboard in just a second. Maps are Amaxon River. God, why did I choose such long names? Cool, just gonna type this out for them, guys, and I'll be with you in a second. Cool. Let's update the scoreboard before I forget. Now we'll come chill. So Gobbo Slayer taking that 2-0. Very decent performances all round by both of those guys, with some fantastic micro in the end there, and the good strong Dowie box managed to win the day. Against Antiquity. And the final, of course, guys, is best of 5. And it's best of 5. Just so I remind them. Intensity is going coast, banning Dowie and Empire, which is to be expected. Intensity, very good coast player around. But Gobbo Slayer is too gut, obviously. Oh, okay, is Gobbo Slayer a dwarf and coast main? This is going to be interesting. Oh, Viking, don't say such things. Don't say such things as dwarf mirrors. Oh no, Zutron, don't say that. We've already had a coast mirror today. Yeah, it's still the same system, Falcon. Pick and ban, no, rotate round. They more coast mirrors, I beg you. Oh, same. At least they were decent enough to kind of do sub-factions and stuff. Oh, these guys are going to be partners tomorrow in a 2v2 tournament with... Oh, Happy Puppies, nice. It's pretty funny, actually. So the friends are going to have to... I suppose it's a good kind of a good story for the finals. 2 friends, Swan brothers, going to have to fight against each other for the love of the crowd. Yeah, we had a coast mirror. It was if there's a yeah, you missed it, Viking. It was good though. It was actually some really fun builds all round. It was some pretty cool stuff. The coast mirror, as far as a mirror can go. Cool. Gobbo Slayer's going to be thinking about who he's going to pick. What's up, little Hamlet? How's it going, man? A dwarf mirror is basically World War One. Yeah, yeah. You can go really elite and just try to, use loads of hammers and stuff to break down your opponent, but you're just going to get shot by thunderers. Empire. Total dwarf. Yeah, but it looks like Gobbo Slayer is going to go high elves, which is a classic. Both these guys have good tools for each other, so we'll see if they do anything kind of off meta, but basically high elf, cheap and cheerful archers, fantastic here at pulling down the enemy from long range and the like, but Antiquity can just bring mortars, Shade Wraith gunners, that type of stuff to counter the archers, and then you can get Law of Fire to do some decent work, but who knows, we're going to see some crazy stuff, I'm sure. I got something special for you. Ooh, nice. So Gobbo Slayer got something special cooking. I wonder if he's going to meme. If he brings Emmerich, I'm going to be a very happy boy. I'm trying to think how terrible Emmerich could be in this matchup. On his dragon, he just gets shot. But at the same time, you know, he looks cool. Noble House Eagles Noble High Elf Eagles versus Zombie Crabs. That could be it. Someone actually tried bringing the double Eagle Noble against me the other day, against my Wood Elves, and I just shot them. Just to be expected. How's the channel going, Falcon? Hopefully it's been doing all good. I know you've been streaming some of your kind of points of views from tournaments and stuff, which is really exciting. Glad you finally came over to YouTube. You saw the light and made the switch. This one is for you, Falcon. Okay. Just trying to make you proud. Also, Gobbo has started doing content YouTube as well. Awesome. Do you have a link to his channel, Happy Puppy? So Steve's ready. He ain't scared. He ain't scared. Against Coast, everyone gets shot, but dragons can heal more. I mean, it's true. Tyrion incoming. Tyrion can be pretty decent here, honestly. I think. Like, he can duel the enemy lords very effectively. Sunfang's nice and fun. I don't think he's the most competitive pick, but... yeah, that's what I was thinking, Viking. Gobbo Slayer and Gobbo King. I know a lot of people thought Gobbo Slayer was Gobbo King for a while. What's not true, Mr. Falcon? River Amaxon. Here we go. My favourite map probably in the game. Because it's a competitive map, which is relatively well balanced, and it's Lizardmen themed. And of course, I'm a child of the old ones myself. Awesome temples in the background, all that good stuff. So, for the forces of the High Elves here, let's see what this special build he has in store for us. And he has a mixture of Silver Guard, Rangers, and White Lions dotted all the way along that front line. Apologies about that. Which is yeah, pretty bad to the bones. We have the Pure Main Company in there as well. Of course, give Guardian better stats all round compared to their normal White Lion brethren. So, an absolute rush build, which makes sense. I love it. Up in the skies, we have... oh my god, I don't know if I've ever seen this unit, because I don't know if I've used it yet in multiplayer. We have the Omen of Azrayan. Azrayan, whatever that name is. I think the Eldar use that name as well, actually. Which is a regiment of renowned Arcane Phoenix with a fantastic looking colour scheme, coming in with the Ember Storm as well, which can do magic and fire damage. Here's the Omen of Hope, which gives immune psychology to troops nearby, which is pretty good, and Fiery Rebirth, which has a 50% chance. So it can rebirth like the normal Phoenixes. We have a expected call. We have Tyrion, so we do indeed have Tyrion on his mighty steed here, coming in, of course, with Sunfang and all his buffs and that good stuff. Very fast, decent, a very good assassin character as well. Then we have a Mage of Fire coming in, Burning Head and Fireball, and a Mage of Shadows coming in with Pendulum. I always hate those guys whipping those horses, man. They're elven steeds. They don't need whipping. They know what's going on. Anyway, for the forces of Inticity here, with his Vampire Coast, we have Bombers in a secondary line, it looks like, with some deckhand mobs, as well as polearms blocking the way in the front line. I'm certainly expecting some summons as well to start and slow down, as he's looking rather thin on the ground here. An absolute ton of gunning mob handguns, just dotted around, nicely spread out. More polearms in the back line as well. A couple of scary dogs lurking in the trees here, going to be waiting to pounce on top of any nasty archers and the like. We have one mortar and two big old Krabby Patties. So we have a Rotten Leviathan on the left-hand flank here, and on the right-hand side we have Diaphyn herself on top of her mighty crab. She is going to be bringing Ghosts of the Past, so she can summon the Damned Knight, which is a very cool-looking unit. Song of Enfrollment, which is very powerful. Of course, Arcane Conduit, Kraken Pole, Denzings of the Deep for those nice... crab summons, and Tidal. Cool build, honestly. Not what I was expecting from either of these guys. So looking forward to this quite a bit. Looks like High Elves are going to be taking refuge in the trees here, trying to become the Wood Elves at the moment, just so they can try and close the distance a little bit quicker on this gun line. Although, to be honest, it's not the craziest gun line. It's kind of spent a lot of money, obviously, in the giant crabs, but it has decent utility all round. Who's your money on? Super Amazing Rainbow Puke Phoenix. That is the new name. Gobbo, why? I mean, he did it for you, man. Cheers, Raptor. Thank you for tagging Gobbo's channel, by the way. Gotta give him star points. I mean, yeah. Meme saw him. Oh, this is gonna be awesome. This is... You guys watch. Gobbo knows what he's doing. You think this is a meme? This unit is the most OP broker from the game. People just don't realise yet. Gobbo's gonna use it here, and it's just gonna annihilate this force. I mean, there's handgunners who can shut it down very effectively, but apart from that, you know, it could fly over, it could do some fire poops on the bombers. Only outnumbered 3 to 1, good luck. Sorcerer, mad lad. Oh, no. I'm not getting that. Gobbo Slayer calling Intensity the mad lad. Is, you know, when he's brought the Omen himself. Of Azurian there. So the White Lions Chase aren't going to be moved forward, taking a few hits, but it's only one mortar, so it can still do decent work, but nothing too crazy. He really wants to shut down these bombers where possible, and he doesn't have any cav to do so he's going to try and force his way through as quickly as possible. But these guys will tear apart Rangers with a couple of volleys, and can do some really lovely work all around. White Lions Chase took a little bit of damage here, but nothing too scary. Looks like the High Elf forces are pushing their way through the trees. Double chariots as well could actually pop into the back line and cause a little bit of havoc. But some well-placed summons, which Intensity is scarily good at, could cause a few problems as well. Omen just floating around, looking absolutely fantastic. Look at the little blue magical sparkles coming off. A few shots come in, but mere bullets cannot you know, damage such a majestic beast. It does flow over. These guys are pretty packed in now, so I'm expecting to see the Firestorm going down, and here we go. And that does some ridiculous damage. So yeah, it's one shot in this unit so far. Well, down about half health, actually going to recover their morale there. And in retaliation, the Omen actually took a ton of damage. And considering it's quite expensive, that's not the best trade, but still did some decent work. Forced those guys back as the front line has gotten underway here. Chariots and Rangers pushing and they're shutting down these bombers very effectively. Gobbo playing fantastic today with the Omen as well hopping into the back line. The Diaphin has popped forward. She's actually wrecking Rangers here and White Lions. We are going to see a Sun Fang coming down. Probably should be saved for the Ethereal Knights which have been summoned, but still, wrecking these guys, doing some good damage. Front line has been completely crumpled though by that consistent bomber fire, taking down that HP very quickly, as well as the mighty crabs. So both forces basically going in there and smacking the crap out of each other very, very quickly. Southern Guard trying to hold the line where possible. Tyrion though is going to get surrounded now, and the Silver Fulment has gone down. And look at this fantastic looking spell here. This is the Kraken Cull, I believe. Doing some pretty decent work. I don't actually play close, so I need to play them a bit more because they have some pretty cool thematic looking stuff. But yeah, High Elves are just getting absolutely swarmed and pulled apart at this point. We're seeing summon upon summon as well, and you know, crabs, knights, all plopping in. The Omens simply cannot carry too much. And all the single entities are still strong. Tyrion is completely surrounded at this point. He can still do some decent work in there, but he needs some help quickly. The damn knights will be disappearing soon, but look how healthy this entire back line is for the coast. And they can slow roll this game, just push up the gunners a little bit, protect the mortar, and pull apart all these single entities. The poor Arcane Phoenix is just taking a few shots here, trying to juke back and forth. And Major Fight is getting into the back line as well, but paying dearly for it, taking round after round to the face. And looks like Tyrion, he doesn't have the most mass, so yes, he's very fast, but he can get stuck. And yeah, fantastic duelist, but you don't want to be stuck into two crabs just kind of being slapped around or surrounded by summons and nasty zombies and the like. Looks like another Flame Storm thingy, whatever it's called. I can't remember his ability. Let's have a little look actually, and never get to see his fin in action. Whatever it is, you know, the little vortex thing that comes down. Did some decent work on top of the mortar and the polearm. Looks like a burn head is a fantastic burn head actually. Going to roast not just one unit of polearms, but also that mortar and a second unit, and nearly catch the third unit, but Intensity on point with his micro manages to pull away and on top of the Omen here, which is going to be getting some support as well from the Mage of Shadows. However, there's still handgunners active, and they're simply mopping up, and unfortunately, the meme gave power, but it wasn't quite enough. Pector, what's up, dude? You're only late to the tournament by like 6 hours or so, so you're doing good. He went down with style, he did indeed. But, I mean, come on. Come on, that build, what a lad. The Omen, 98 kills. It carried the squad. I mean, the Major did decent as well, 179, 123, but it wasn't quite enough. A valiant defeat. Did some fantastic early shock damage to the gunners and bombers and the like, but at the end of the day, looking to see his build, and it's still relatively healthy at that point. The meme dream, unfortunately, wasn't quite enough. Worth it for the memes. GG. That was pretty fun builds from both of those guys. So we are going to be moving now on to Schwarzhafen. And let me update the scoreboard. So Gobbo Slayer setting the gauntlet early. Can Entity match his memes back? Although Entity does indeed take the lead in this best of 5. There's still plenty of time for Gobbo to come back into this. I declare a 2-0 lead to Gobbo, who's with me. Just for the Omen. It was worth it. Too bad his build was trash. It wasn't terrible. I mean, like, it was still a decent rush build, but it was certainly a very memey. -1 for bringing Omen, plus 3 points. Good win for Gobbo. Yeah, not doing too bad. He is a man of the people indeed. He is a man of the people. But it looks like Gobbo Slayer is going to be picking Coast, so this is the last Coast game of the stream, luckily. I don't get to see any more, but he's going to ban High Elves and Empire. So there is a possibility Entity would just pick Dowie here. Yeah, he's confused as well. Wait a sec, you're letting me play Dowie. Yeah, I'm assuming he wants to take that back. Dowie, okay, he's going to ban Dowie and Empire. Yes. That's right. No rush. These guys obviously know each other quite well as well. Roblox is denying the will of the people. Sorry, the score already got put in, man. It won't let me change it. Come on, Gobbo. Also shouts for Gobbo in the chat. He's been an absolute... playing fantastically today as well, so... I figured we would do Dowie mirror match for the finale. No! No! Please spare me. It's going to be interesting to see who Entity does play here. Send in the ducks. Crush the peasant uprising. Yes, Raptor. All good stuff. What do I think about it, actually? Let me pop over to YouTube quickly. Where are you? There we go. Yo. I have bestowed power upon someone who should have had power a while ago simply because they have power on everything. And you. Sweet. And I'm back. Cool. Looks like we are going to be getting some Dark Elf action. Suspicious. And Tisty's one of those players who really kind of burst onto the scene quite quickly with Dowie and Coast playing like really defensive builds, but since then he's branched out so much of his build you can never really predict what he's going to do. So it's a very tough opponent to try and bring down. I'm sure Gobbo Slayer is prepared and ready for this. And Dark Elves, again, this is, you know, more elves, so if the High Elves don't work, bring in the Dark Elves, see if they can take down the Coast. The Empire and Dowie Kings are too close on the keyboard. That's funny. Weird, I don't feel any different. Your time will come. I'm only trying to do a little bit at a time so we don't get flooded with too many mods. But your time shall come. Unlimited power, indeed. I'll have a little sip of my drink to keep me alive. You have no power here, Viking the Grey. That's funny. I need to binge watch Lord of the Rings soon. You guys heard about the Lord of the Rings TV show that's coming out? I think the rights were bought for 250 million or something, which is like the most expensive rights ever, which is pretty ridiculous. I think it's Amazon who's bought it. I can't quite remember. But I know they've started casting for extras and stuff, so they've probably got their main cast kind of sorted and hopefully start filming soon. But Lord of the Rings TV show, it better be good. It better be good. There's like so much riding on that, but I can't see it not you know, been at least popular for a while. They're chucking enough money at it. You hadn't heard Viking? Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's set like thousands of years before the Lord of the Rings, or like whatever age is it, the third age? Is that what the age of the ring is? So it's set before, like, you know, any of the characters we kind of know and love, which I think is a smart idea because the films weren't that long ago, but the actors obviously aged quite a bit, so I don't think you could bring any of them back, and if you tried recasting characters, I think that's a bad idea. I don't think people will take it very well. Maybe you'll see Ian McKellen in it, because I know Gandalf's kind of like eternal or whatever, but... Gobbo Slayer was ready, and it looks like he's changed his mind. Yeah, that should be okay. Okay. So Jorah, they have to buy it from like the Tolkien Foundation or something, which I believe is run by Tolkien's son. I think they're quite notoriously hard to kind of get rights from and stuff. Because they were happy with the Lord of the Rings films, obviously, because they're amazing, but I think they were less happy with Hobbit films or something, even though it wasn't really their fault, because I think the director left partway through and stuff. Oh, what were in your Star Wars Viking? Mandalorian's great. Yeah, his family and rights, yeah. Yeah, Red Legion, it's a Lord of the Rings TV show. Google it, man. Yeah, Raptor, that's what I mean. I'm worried, but I'm hopeful. So those boys are ready, let's get this underway. Yeah, I don't think they've revealed what it's about. They've revealed like a map, and from the map people managed to figure out what age it's in, because obviously buildings and stuff get destroyed along the way. So I don't know if it's stories from the Silmarillion, because I know initially, the initial idea was each season was going to be its own, you know, story, kind of get wrapped up by the end of the season. The next season could be set thousands of years apart. There was an idea for an Aragon kind of backstory, I suppose, or like what happened to him like up until the point or we see him in the first Lord of the Rings film, but they were all rumours, and it turns out I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think I could see anyone but Viggo Mortensen playing Aragorn, because Viggo Mortensen's one of my favourite actors. He's phenomenal. I highly recommend A History of Violence, which he's in as well. It's so good. And Eastern Promises. But anyway, enough of that talk. Let's get back to the glory of Warhammer, who are in fact doing some TV shows themselves, but I'll speak about that afterwards on the little bits I know. But Gobbo Slayer coming in with some deckhand mobs. Looks like just the one, actually. Oh, no, here we go. So 4 of those guys can be taking the hill, as is his wont to do. Couple of gunnery mobs as well for long range firepower. We also have Count Noculus on foot, ridiculously tanky, can do a absurd number of summons as well. Got Captain Ruff's Moondial, kind of Wrath of the Storm, or Wrath of the Storm, Invocation of the Heck, Raise Dead, or Drown Dead, sorry, all that good stuff. He does have as well a really cool core here though of Morngulls. So we have the basic ones, we have the Knight Terrors, which are the regiment renowned. They can unfortunately rampage rather easily, but at the same time they have Stalk and Terror. We have a 3rd unit of Mongols, as well as a Mongol Hunter, so a nice theme going on. I really like this build, actually, it's kind of cool. And 4 Scurvy Dogs, which in mass can actually kind of pull apart enemies quite quickly, and you certainly want to at least compete against the Dark Elves in the skirmish game where possible. Now for the forces of Antiquity and the Dark Elves, over wide on the left-hand flank, Dark Riders. He's gone pretty wide of his front line, just basic bleak swords is all you really need, unless your opponent's brought Depth Guard, which can be a pretty risky pick. These guys will do just fine. Mongols will be quite nasty against these bad boys. We have a Canite Assassin pushed up as well, can be there to try and slow down the enemy advance. He has a Master, pretty cool to see here, which is an anti-large hero. He has triple Reaper Bolt Throwers here, which can do some fantastic work. More Dark Riders over on the other flank, as well as triple Dark Shards, quad Dark Shards in the back line, protected by some Blackguard of Nagrond. Really well-rounded build, I think, actually, overall. Malekith on foot, of course, coming in with Soul Stealer. And Gaze of Malice, I believe. Good stuff. So, of course, the coast going for the out-and-out rush build. The Mongols will certainly try to make the enemy pay the price here. Good luck, have fun all round. Who's your money on? Please scream. Either Gobbo or Antiquity in chat, let me know. Viggo Mortensen is so good. Damn right, man. Damn right. He's an absolute hero. Anyway, yeah, more shots are starting to launch in here. Of course, they can't currently see these stalked units. They are going to be focusing down the bombers, which is a decent shout all round. Those guys will do huge damage up against the bleak swords. Mongols are overextending a little bit here. Dark Shards will be able to punish these guys very quickly, however, they can do some massive damage. Canine Assassin push forward, may be able to spot these guys if he gets a little lucky. Scurvy Dogs have been forced wide, now they know this guy's alive. And unfortunately, it looks like those rear bolt throws, what for those guys firing out there, they are not doing that much damage considering there's 3 of them here. All trying to focus fire down this one unit. But they're doing okay work. I suppose zombies are a little bit haggard and kind of slow and they bumble around a bit, so they're not the tightest formations to kind of pick apart. Some of these shots are actually going to hit the hidden units here, which is pretty funny. Master does launch out to intercept these Mongols, which is a good fight for him overall. He does want some assistance, however, if he is going to take the fight, as he's still just a single elf here. Mongols do start to surround him, but he has anti-large, can do some decent work overall. Dark Shards as well can unleash some shots, and some Scurvy Dogs tried to break this flank quickly, but looks like they may pay the price a little bit. Gaze of Malice going down, doing wonderful damage on top of these bombers. They do keep all of their models, however. More shots are being unleashed, still trying to focus down the bombers where possible. I see a battle charge being crawled by the Dark Elves here. I'm trying to remember what their battle charge is. I read it in the Dark Palace bit. A big fat Soul Stealer is going to be going down here, catching double Mongols as well as some zombie pirate deckhand mobs. Although, it's not getting its full value because Malekith isn't injured, but still, it's too good an option, not to take here. This guy is taking decent damage all round, though the Master has been a little bit isolated here. Completely surrounded, just getting circle beat on. And yes, he's anti-large, but he can't get attacks him because he keeps getting stuttered, then it's not going to go too well. The Dark Shard's doing some fantastic damage, though, here from long range, and it looks, unfortunately, like Web of Shadows has been popped here, but unfortunately he's kind of been blobbed up just all around these few characters where he needs to be pushing into the back lines there. Dark Riders on the other flank have been used to push away the Scurvy Dogs, which is fantastic value for them, protecting this back line. If he can keep these 4 Dark Shards firing and let them use up their ammunition, there's no way he won't be able to win this. Scurvy Dogs are struggling to get through Dark Riders at the point. They need to try and force these guys off, and they had 4 Scurvy Dogs. They should have had enough to really wrap around the flanks and get away from these Dark Riders, but fantastic counterplay so far coming in by Intensity. Mongols do start slapping the Dark Riders around, and they have finally broken them, and the front line has started to buckle quite nicely. Some summons going in the back line, so perhaps the Dark Shards can be shut down now. Looks like the bolt throws are still active, up to 50 kills here, 41 kills. They have switched their target to the second unit of bombers, who have advanced and got 13 kills overall. Night Terrors really need to get moving here. They're in a perfect situation. There they go. They do get the orders to attack, and they're going to be feasting on some Dark Shards. They'll be able to tear them apart relatively quickly as well. Catching 2 units is some good value. Looks like another Soul Stealer has gone down by the nasty Malekith here, catching a load of units once again, but the Mongols are pushing through here. Really decent play by Gobbo Slayer, trying to force his way into the back lines. It looks a bit shaky to start with, but now a lot of these units have gone down. It's starting to look a little bit more tasty, but a fantastic Gaze of Malice is going to be taking down the bombers. Now the Mongol Hunter in the late game is full health here, and he can simply float over. There is nothing left to protect this back line but some beat up Bleak Swords. So, oh no, Intestity's forgotten one full health unit. These guys need to get back here and do a bit of backline protection, as the Dark Shards are starting to go down here, and Gobbo Slayer clawing his way back into this game. Looks like the Blackguard Magon have taken an absolute pounding from something, probably from the bombers over here, as well as the Hunters. And yeah, going down pretty damn low, although Malekith is so goddamn healthy going into this late game. Zombies are trying to chase away the Dark Riders, just keeping them away from his precious doggos. And the Dark Shards being pulled down here in number. Mongol Hunter as well is popping around, but Testy constantly on the move, trying to float back to these Bleak Swords, who have been successful elsewhere in the battle. Lovely summon coming down by the deckhand mob, hunting down more Dark Shards once again. Unfortunately, I have the punching power to drag those guys down quickly. Rear bolt throws going down as well, and in come the Scurvy Dogs. This is the unit that need to get in here, and they'll be able to gnash away at those guys pretty quickly. Unfortunately, Night Terrors did rampage straight into targets they don't really want to be facing here, the Hero Core, and that's going to allow them just to get absolutely obliterated as well by these bolt throwers. Count Knockless going pretty strong, more Mongols are lurking as well, and there's a decent job so far by both players. Very close game. Balance power is in favour now of Gobbo Slayer, if only just. He does have some summons down as well, so it's probably about even in reality. Mongols need to float round. There's only the 2 kind of taking down the bolt throw. Need to push one back here, finish off the Dark Shard, so probably a bigger threat at this point now the backline has been broken. We have some Scurvy Dogs chasing some shattered Dark Shards, so good play, chase them off, but they need to come back and feast on these fresh Dark Shards over here. in the distance. It looks like Intensity, a little bit of micro lapse there, needs to pull these Dark Riders back up and around. He's dragged away some zombie deckhand mobs, and they're far too slow to get back into the battle before it's kind of too late. So wrap up and around, and get in here and help protect your back line. Gobbo Dogs are starting to crumble, which is a bit of a disaster, as they're going to be so good in this late game, hunting down more Dark Shards. They need to get on top of these guys. But it looks like Count Noctis, unfortunately, has been struck here by the Assassin and the Master. He's very tanky himself, doing a decent job, and of course the Mongol Hunter will help here as well, or Haunter, sorry. Looks like the Master is about to go down. Gobbo Dogs break, unfortunately, completely disappear into the world, as they were just about to feast upon some Dark Shards, but fantastic micro here, pulling these Mongols through and hunting these guys down. Master is starting to run away here, and Oculus holding this line pretty strong, but there is an Assassin and Malekith about to easily be able to go toe-to-toe with him. The Mongol Haunter is floating about once again, needs to come back here and maybe slap Malekith a little bit, as more Dark Shards do get pulled down. What a fantastically close game this is. And unfortunately for Gobbo Slayer though, his doggos just don't quite have the enough energy left. And they're going down here, like that was a free kill for them in reality. Instead, those Dark Shards are going to be able to come back into the battle with a ton of ammunition and a ton of mobility lost for the forces of the coast here. Summon is going to be coming down here, trying to protect Count Noctis and allow him to escape. These guys just going to be circling around these heroes, trying to drag them down where possible. Mongol Hunter going to be beating down some Dark Shards. One of those guys shatter. I'm sure he's going to float over and finish off the other unit. And is these guys going to be enough? So we have 12 models here, 8 here with a chevron, as well as some deckhand mobs falling back. So they simply need to finish off the Dark Shards. And is that going to be enough against the hero core? There's still a relatively healthy assassin, about half HP, and Malekith nearly at full hit points. If he has 1 or 2 more Soul Stealers in him, it's going to be rough. So from a distance, Mongol Hunt's up to 31 kills, which isn't crazy, but he's done decent work in the late stages of the game. Dark Shards are being forced off. Master does rally, but I don't think he's going to have any chance of getting back to this main engagement here. The Assassin is getting a little bit overextended here. This is a bit of a worry. I would turn back with at least 1 unit of Mongols at this point and just start beating him down. But it looks like Anticity may know something is up yet and decides to just to chill out a little bit. Going to be throwing his nasty darts or shurikens, whatever he does do. Oh, he's got a crossbow actually. Doing some crossbow shots, looks like he does miss there, but his troops are a bit more freed up now and can get back into the engagements. So it looks like both forces are going to be slowly kind of regaining their strength in different pockets of the field, which is always good to see. A game has been fantastic when it's gone on for about 10 minutes and both guys still have a decent chance of winning it. All units in the distance have been shattered. The Master is still alive for now, but I don't think he's going to be if he gets back into the fray. The Haunter here doesn't have regeneration, does he? No, he does have the hunger. So he can come back and hopefully do some decent work up against these guys. Dark Shard's being forced off the edge of the field. Good diligent play all round by Gobbo Slayer, but the longer this does go on, the more the Assassin's going to pick down at Count Noctis, who is turning to engage. He's had enough of this. He's going to be forcing himself forward, but the Assassin going to be a little sneaky elf and simply fall back behind his main forces and then turn around and start shooting again. Haunter trying to get on top of the Dark Shards, but Anticity not having any of this. It's going to be moving his forces over to try and protect these guys. They still have a decent amount of ammunition with 8 rounds left. Fantastic micro there. Imagine to juke all of those shots on point blank range. And if he doesn't turn around, the Mongols are going to be able to hit him from behind here. Looks like the Master did shatter. Just the idea that seeing Malekith again after already running away once, perhaps he thought it wasn't such a good idea. Blix Swords over here can be getting a nice charge into the deckhand mobs. And we're going to see a summon here. Mongol Hunter trying his best at this point. Malekith is in here, doing some work as well, so pretty healthy. Balance Power is going very heavily in favour of the coast here. And if they can just break more and more of these forces off, that is going to be huge, fantastic value. We are about to see a Soul Stealer. A fat Soul Stealer does come down here, doing huge work to this big blob. And I don't know which way this is going to go. The forces of Dark Caps are starting to break. Bleak Swords are running for the field and shattered. Some more are terrified off. The Hero Core going strong. K-Knight Assassin going toe-to-toe here with such a mighty beast. But Assassin's Trophy has been popped on this guy. He needs to fall back for now and come in when it's a little bit safer rather than trying to take this fight. More Bleak Swords have been shattered. Balance Power is very even at this point. Blackguard and Aggron run for the hills. Probably worth chasing them down. But down goes the Haunter here. No, Hunter. I keep calling him Haunter. And he did get finished off there by the Assassin. Count Noctis is pushing in for the kill here, trying to break the Assassin, which he does do. Balance Power still dead even. Can Malekith tank? This is a ridiculous game. We've had so many good games in these semi-finals and throughout the whole tournament. So units have shattered. These guys probably not going to be returning. A load more shatters. Blackguard and Iron could come back, and 15 models is no joke when there's like so few enemies left. K9 Assassin is routing here. Certainly wants to chase them off here with the Mongols and force them away. It looks like these guys may crumble as well. Malekith is getting pounded here, which I'm sure he's not a fan of. Mongols are anti-infantry, so they can do some decent work overall. Count Noculus is returning to the fray, and this assassin's probably going to rally here, which is pretty nasty stuff. Bleak Swords as well as Blackguard of Nagron have rallied. Poor Malekith is trying his best, and it's going to be a grind in the end here. Looks like the K9 Assassin has managed to rally, launching a few shots in. Probably best to try and crumble these Mongols so they can come back to the fray nice and healthy. Count Noculus, incredibly tanky, is going to be coming to duel Malekith as well. This is ridiculous! This is ridiculous! I don't know. I really don't know. If Malekith has, I don't know how many of these he's popped, if he's got any Winds of Magic left for another Soul Stealer. Because if that Soul Stealer will all these troops do converge would be really nice here. It looks like he is slowly losing health to the Mongols. Bleak Swords as well getting stopped from getting back into the engagement by Count Noculus. Well, Assassin's Trophy has been popped on him, so his Bleak Swords will be able to do some decent damage. K9 Assassin has fled, but he's managed to outlast these guys with a lovely roll. 360 no scope with that crossbow into the face of the Mongol. It's going to bring these guys down. Pistol whips one, or crossbow whips one from close range. He's taken a bit of damage and he's wavering, but he has done the fell deed. Balance power, guys, is now in favour of the Dark Elves. This is incredibly back and forth. Bleak Swords close going down, but Blackguard and Nagron have formed up. They've come back in their ranks, and these guys need to be pushed off the field very quickly by Gobbo if he wants a chance of winning this. As only 14 models and whatnot, they can do some fantastic damage to the Mongols, and that's his only answer to Malekith at this point. And even then, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. The Blackguard are wavering here. 6 leadership, 7 leadership. They are rallying to their king. 408 hit points. They're wavering, but they're holding. K9 Assassin has returned. He still has ammunition left as well, so he wants to just start pistol whipping in and trying to do some decent damage. Balance power dead even here, which is ridiculous considering there's only, like less than 100 troops on the field. Malekith does get knocked over here by the Mongols. Blackguard somehow not breaking, despite their numbers being 6 and 227 health. Count Noculus probably doesn't want to finish those guys off because he needs to come and deal with Malekith and assist these guys. There's nothing he can do to catch the K9 Assassin at this point. He's simply going to pistol whip in. Looks like he's focused down the Mongols, which again, really good play. And I think this is going to be game to the Dark Elves. It's so tight. The Blackguard of Nagron down to just 90 health and still fighting. This is ridiculous. These guys are loyal to Malekith to the end here. Down to 3 models and they have no fear. They are the fear. And although it looks like they are slowly getting dragged down here. Count Noculus Assassin's Trophy has been popped in, but as well as an Arcane Conduit. Perhaps he has 1 or 2 more spells in the back pocket to save the day. And it looks like the Assassin has been forced off here. Malekith tried fleeing for the hills, trying to get as much sniping as possible. We did have an invocation go down on the Mongols, but it looks like it's not going to be enough. And oh dear, with those guys gone, there is nothing left to take down the Assassin and Malekith. Count Noculus is very tanky. Maybe a summon, perhaps a rear charge summon, and some lucky RNG might better bring him down. If he can kill down the Assassin first, that would be great, but I don't think Intensity is going to push with the Assassin. He's simply going to waddle forward with Malekith and let him take all the damage. There we go! Lord on Lord, as they both miss each other their first blows. Count Noculus down to just 783 health. Malekith is on a whopping 904. This is so goddamn close. But who is the better assistance here? The zombie deck mobs, who maybe can mess up some of the attack animations of Malekith, or the Assassin, who's currently shooting a little bit wide. Maybe he's got eyes on a bigger prize, and he wants to become the new Dark Lord. Noculus trying his best here, but it looks like Malekith, who is the better duelist, being an elf against a simple undead. Is starting to do pretty good. 433. Assassin's Trophy has been popped, which is so good here. What a game! That was insane. GG's. Intensity somehow pulling it through. Bro, I'm so just trying to finish work in 10 minutes and watch the end of this game. This was that was up there with one of the, I can't remember which game it was earlier, which was insane. I have to go back and rewatch, but awesome build come by Gobbo Slayer. Fantastic micro as well. It came down, it just couldn't quite finish that Assassin, and a good late game management by Intensity, which you'll see a lot of top players do. Kind of, analysing the situation, managing to pull back with that assassin, finish off the Mongols, and kind of drag apart or pull apart Gobbo Slayer's build towards the end. But great game, fantastically, and well played with both players. GG. Crazy game. Should have chased off the assassin with a chance. That was it. Him coming back, I think, won intensity of the game. So we are going to be on to Alpine Ridge. This could be the final game of the stream, guys. So let's update the scoreboard to see taking this 2-0 so far. Can Gobbo Slayer claw his way back in? Hopefully he can. Cool. Sorry guys, just a bit of admin in the background. I'm not ready for the finale yet. Especially on this map. Not bad, not bad. Indeed, that was good stuff. They're doing the anime thing where they pass each other and they strike. That is so true. That is so true. Oh, was the last blackguard killed by friendly fire? That's funny. Oh, Puppy, not a fan of the coast. Man, you guys are funny as hell in chat. Shoot his legs. But yes, good stuff. Yeah, I get what you mean, Viking. Mandalorian was fantastic though. I haven't played the game, but I heard good things. Come on, Gobbo. Got a chance for Gobbo in the chat here. Trying to lend him your energy if you can. Come for the fight back. You know what must be done. I'll ban Beastmen and Skaven. Oh no! Gobbo wants the Dowie Mirror so much. He wants it so bad, but Alpine Ridge, not a good map for it, I assume. And these guys have apparently played a Dowie Mirror on this map before. So I mean, I think a Dowie Rush build may be okay here, because you have the hills, just going hardcore with hammers and great weapons and stuff, and trying to force your way through quickly, but the opponent could just sit back if they brought a couple of gyrocopters to kind of skirmish you. Let's go Dowie. We've had so many mirrors, or we've had, what, Coast Mirror, Dowie Mirror, and we've had Coast versus Counts, which feels like a mirror, even though it's not. Yes, it's 2-0 Viking. Explain why the assassin does so little damage. I mean, it does damage like a target, I suppose. It's not got the greatest splash damage. But the main thing for him there was that assassin's trophy heads, to be honest. Dowie Mirror but no range. That's what I want to see. Just a grinder. Ironbreaker on Ironbreaker. Miner on Miner. Brother against brother. Which, I mean, it's gonna be interesting, honestly. I think going gyrocopter heavy and then sitting back and shooting just a load of thunderers is probably the way to do it. Just give up the hill, but if both players do that, then it's going to be who wins the air game. I'll go to sleep, wake me when the infantry engages. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? I'm so happy, Daniel. So someone's loving it. I thank you guys for the support so far on the stream. It's always good to see you guys chilling here. May the best grudge win. If you are enjoying, please do remember to hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll give you a high five in person next time I see you. Which will hopefully be soon, who knows. I do need to start thinking of ideas as well for 1,000 subs, because that's going to be fun. We'll probably do a celebratory stream. There was an idea of a 24-hour stream, but I may have an idea for actually of contacting a few YouTubers and trying to do like a continuous 24-hour stream. So like, say I did like 3 hours on my one, and then I pass you over to like Darv, and then he does 3 hours on his, and he passes you to like Felcon, and he does 3 hours on his, and so on, and you kind of bounce between channels for like a full 24 hours. We'd have to get people from all across the world, obviously, to kind of help with time zones and stuff. I thought that might be a fun way of celebrating 1,000 subs, but I'll have to contact the guys and sort that out a bit closer to the time. Anyway, for the force of Gobbo Slayer, that's really trying to drag his way back into this game. He actually has miners in the front line, including Ekron miners. So again, very cheap and cheerful. I'm not sure what their purpose is going to be too much. I mean, the blaster charges won't do massive damage against dwarves, I don't think. But we'll, oh no, they're all basic, aren't we, at the 1. So it looks like he's going to be relying on his guns quite heavily. Up in the skies, he does have 2 gyrocopters, no brimstone guns, however. And then he has Thunderers, which is to be expected. Thunderers galore, 4 units of Thunderers, as well as a load of Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, of course, decent armor piercing and the like, as well as the Gobbo. Now, Gobbo Slayer surely couldn't have brought anything but the Gobbo Slayer due to his namesake, but going to be very powerful indeed. And quite nice on this map, going to get those nice overarching shots over top of the hill here. So yeah, fun build, and for his lord, he does in fact have a manling rocking alongside them in the form of Felix, decent anti-infantry, so I quite like him in this build actually. He is of course going to be coming in with help in hand, as well as his sword and blood oath, healing very good up with the dwarf characters. We have a Thane, as well as Belagar, Iron Hammer, completely naked, apart from obviously his ridiculous 120 armor, with no magical items for him. Love the build, should be good fun. Now, for the forces of Antiquity, going a completely different route here. We do indeed have Dwarf Warriors with great weapons in the front line as well, which is to be expected, but then an unprecedented amount of crossbow fire. So we have Rangers galore, dotted all the way along, as well as Rangers with great weapons. So we have these guys all dotted along as well. Surely we have all Far Raiders. Surely. Looks like we don't. Okay. So just a ton of these guys. I mean, these guys have pretty decent AP with their, they throw axes, I believe, these ones, don't they? That's like, yeah, they are the ones I'm thinking of. Cool. They can do some decent damage overall. There's also a couple of Thunderers hidden in the trees. We have 3 or 4, 5 of those bad boys. So he's going really kind of traditional gun heavy, as well as a naked Belagar. So hopefully we see a bit of a Belagar off. Now the Jacobs have to be a little bit careful, as they don't want to get kind of pounced upon by these Thunderers, but if they can stay alive, they can do some decent work all around. Both forces hiding in trees at the other ends of the map from each other. Miners being used just to make sure nothing sneaky happens. Good luck, have fun. And let the battle commence. If Gobbo loses this game, he'll have to accept he's no dwarf, but indeed a goblin. Or a goblin wearing like dwarf armour. The only matchup where you can blame Dwarf Kite, indeed. Indeed. This is going to be fun. Challenging A move at his own race is not easy. For more me as for instance. Oh, I remember you guys did that, yeah. A move's a beast of a player. I think he was in this tournament actually, but he came up against Imperator early on, who's also a very good player. And then I think Gobbo Slayer must have knocked Imperator out, so good stuff. 12 Warriors are going to be advanced here, as well as the Rangers. These guys, of course, are stalked, but I'm sure Gobbo Slayer probably has a bit of an inkling when he sees the army, or the lack of army, I suppose, of what's going on. Looks like the Gyro's pulling forward a little bit. Going to be some nice attacks on the flank here of these Dwarf Warriors, who are going to realign themselves. Good micromanagement here by Antiquity. Just try and minimalise the damage. Of course, if you shoot them down the rank, you're going to hit more models. It's pretty simple stuff. Looks like these dwarfs are really trying to sit back for now. Goblobber has pushed forward a bit, and it's going to be launching some of these poor goblins in, which is a real insult, really, if you're launching goblins into dwarfs. And doing some pretty good damage here to the Dwarf Warriors. You can see it does have this lovely ability as well to discourage with minus 16 leadership, which actually makes it pretty decent in artillery duels. You can break enemy artillery crews quite quickly. So it looks like some of the Ranger line has been spotted, and these Gyrocopters, very quick reactions there by Gobbo Slayer. Just floated along, and all of a sudden a ton of Rangers appeared in front of them. Managed to pull back without taking too much damage. As Goblobber starts to go to work here. Gyrocopter is going to be forced back. Nice slow push by Antiquity so far. Going to stop the Gyrocopters doing too much damage with all his Rangers. But the Goblobber has got a nice little foreign arc here into these guys. Down only 15 models, but a pretty decent chunk of HP has been gone. Rangers are starting to push up, and they're going to be quite a threat here. They have okay AP with a crossbow, I suppose, compared to a bow, but it's really nothing kind of that special here at all. armor piercing, kind of 6 damage. But still, no, consistent waves and waves of fire will do decent work all round. Gyrocopter's being forced back here as well, so they can't really get into the cookie jar of these Thunderers, who are really isolated at this point, so they could wrap around, that could be pretty good fun. But Rangers push forward, so the Throngs do march. So Gobbo Slayer is going to start to advance. He wants to protect the Gobblobber at all costs. He's really going to need this in the late game as well to kind of break off units of Thunderers and stuff, because his Gyrocopters are going to have a hard time breaking into that back line simply due to the crossfire. So it's going to be a bit of a slog in the front line, which Gobbo Slayer's army would normally win, probably, considering it's got kind of, you know, Thane and so forth, and Felix, but will they win? Because the Rangers are going to be doing so much consistent fire. So it's time will tell. Hi there! General Rangers! Coming lovely, good. Oh! Lovely to see those goblins explode into the dwarf ranks there. Doing some pretty decent damage all round. Looking okay on ammunition as well, up to 24 kills. Looks like one unit of dwarf warriors has pushed forward, trying to hunt down the miners. They're going to get countercharged here by the Thane as well as Felix. Thunder is also walking forward and deciding, you know what, this was a bad idea. Going to be falling back immediately. There's a little bit of lapse there. Felix trying to hunt these guys down, Belagar as well. So these dwarf warriors are pretty kind of pushed forward a little bit too far here. They're kind of being sacrificed to the gods. The dwarf warriors, of course, with weapons do not have shields, so they're a perfect target for all these ranger fire. And these guys are getting deleted. Look at these glorious rangers launching their axes in and doing some really decent damage. They have 26 armor piercing. Real nice niche pick for them here up in the mirror match. Over on the right hand flank we have a nice little firing base of triple Thunderers. Although the rocks are flying in, the Rangers are being, the Thunderers of Gobbo Slayer are being pushed back and dealt with quite nicely. He's kind of formed a big old, you know, fist in the centre, and he's going to be trying to punch his way through this dwarf build as much as possible. But it's going to be hard. The counter skirmish play is going to be really on point here. Gobblobber desperately trying to finish off some Thunderers here. And these ones probably want to turn and engage, or at least push up with some dwarf warriors and put pressure on these rangers where possible, as the Thunderers are slowly just being picked off as this engagement does go on longer and longer. Anticity is simply feeding in isolated units of dwarf warriors here to hold back the enemy as long as possible and buy time for his ranged core. But one thing Gobbo Slayer has going for him is actually the really cheap miners he has. So he has 3 of these units over here, and they can now simply push in and chase off the rangers. And it's not like these guys can get support anytime soon from any combat troops, but there is a nice firebase of Thunderers here unleashing salvo and salvos of shots. Thunderers have got themselves together a little bit here, need to push in on these rangers and do some damage. And it looks like Belagar is forcing his way in. Looks like there's no chance of a Belagar off, as they're both heading in different directions here. The nice hero core as well is going to start engaging on these rangers. But it looks like Belagar is pushing his back line on top of these Thunderers. Going to be able to do some decent damage. However, dwarf warriors can simply engage with him here. And Gobblobber up to 48 kills, but is running relatively low on ammunition at this point. I don't think it's going to be enough to swing the battle, as the Rangers get in, doing some decent damage, but they have overextended here, and the Dwarf Warriors with great weapons are going to force themselves in, so patiently waiting here, Gobbo Slayer, for his moment to strike, and he has deemed it necessary. As Gyrocopters are going to go in the back line, can hop into combat with these guys as well, do some okay damage. Miners happy to take these shots for the Dwarven race here. Gyrocopters focus throwing down some rangers, they can now charge them off as well, so good counter push so far by Gobbo Slayer, but it is looking a little bit dicey as well, with so many ranged troops still left alive with a ridiculous amount of ammunition as well. Despite this, Gobbo Slayer pushing back hard. Anticity is one of those players that's so hard to actually break his back line fully. Rangers did push into combat here with their great weapons, but they have been shot to pieces here, unfortunately, by Thunderers. And the Belagar continues his rampage into the back lines. He can hop on top of the Gobblobber if he so deems necessary. It will shut down these Thunderers before he does do so. And the Gobblobber's pretty low on ammunition anyway, up to 70 kills, used up most of his ammunition and got its value. As Rangers do start just launching shots in here, doing some decent work, but the front lines are breaking here for Anticity. And in the back line as well, he has some Rangers completely shattered. This unit of Rangers is doomed as well. And this one's just going to be simply running it for the hills. So it's a very close game overall, guys. Balance power dead even. The hero core is certainly something to say about this as well. If they can just get off as many range units as possible, these guys are going to be a nightmare to deal with. As Felix does chew upon some Thunderers. Of course, as a Manlin, he's relatively speedy as well compared to these stunted folk. But wherever he chases off a unit, there seems to be another unit of Thunderers kind of lurking somewhere. And yeah, this unit of Rangers is gone at this point. Yeah, it's probably worth finishing them off actually with like 1 or 2 more volleys and then just letting the miners chase them down. So very close to the edge. These gyrocopters are kind of needed in the main engagement here. Up on high ground, these miners have been dealt with, but at the same time, they've wasted some valuable ammunition on the Rangers and Thunderers, and wasted time here, which it looks like Gobbo has managed to clear up the majority of the main part of the battlefield. Rangers slowly going down to Dwarf Warriors here. Bellegarde trying his best, but he's getting crossfired now by Thunderers, as the Gobbler up to 111 kills. Dangerous stuff. Has helped break this pocket of Ranger strength. That discourage really handy here, as Felix does chew on these guys, and I think Gobbo Slayer may be in the ascendancy here. It's hard to tell. Thunderers lacing more and more shots into Bellegarde. Although it looks like some Dwarf Warriors weapons in here as well, fighting Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, which is pretty funny. Gobbo crew is now out of ammunition, so they can push forward, try and hold Bellegarde back while the Thunderers do some decent work. So fantastic skirmishing going on by both players. There's still a huge amount of Anticity's troops though left alive, chasing off troops. Good diligent play. But it looks like the Rangers have been caught by miners here. Some crossfire is coming into the action. These gyrocopters need to get back now. Looks like they're already on the way with these miners, and keep pressuring that back line. He's done such a good job so far. Needs to just keep it going, basically. So Thane taking an absolute hammer in from the back. Thunderers and Rangers alike. The Hero Corps is going to be pushing on top of these Thunderers, though, who are trying to outshoot the enemies of Thunderers, who are desperately trying to run from Bellegarde here. More Thunderers loosen some shots into some Rangers, as the Gobbo crew does chase down some Dwarf Warriors, which is pretty hilarious stuff. This is so close, but it looks like it is going. Bounce power is going in the favour of Gobbo Slayer, mainly probably due to this Hero Corps, but it can be a little bit deceiving because Thunderers and Rangers, of course, surrounding these guys can kill them very quickly with their ranged firepower. And it looks like Anticity just trying to secure his back line as much as possible, but Rangers have been forced off here by the miners. Need to just get moving straight away and pop onto these Rangers, try and do as much damage as possible. Double gyrocopter is still going to be a big menace in the night, but you can see the amount of ranged firepower in this centre pocket here for Anticity is going to be really hard to break. Some Thunderers have started to rout here, and some of Gobbo Slayer's own troops have started to rally as well. Thunderers desperately trying to finish off Bellegarde, but firing through their own troops, unfortunately. Looks like they did drag down one of their own, perhaps a old grudge that needed settling. The Gobbo crew did get engaged here with some Rangers, but unfortunately did get pulled down. 122 kills though. Fantastic work from those guys. And the Rangers are loosening a ton of ammunition just into this one unit of miners, but this unit is causing so many problems in the back line here. And there's another unit on its way. Who said Dowie mirror matches aren't fun? It's been pretty exhilarating stuff so far, honestly. Yeah, very well played game by both players, but it looks like Gobbo Slayer has finally lost his back line here. Thunder is going to be going down to the axe throws of the Rangers. These Dwarf Warriors and Great Weapons need to get moving, try and assist, put pressure on these guys and drag them down, and perhaps these Thunderers could win this shoot-off. But Gobbo crew has rallied. Thunderers being forced off by Bellegarde. And double gyrocopters unfortunately don't really have anywhere to land at the moment. This is so painful as a dwarf main and a player. It's pretty fun, honestly. I've kind of been enjoying it. I don't know if you guys have been crying about the dwarfs warring towards each other, but it's been pretty high micro-intensive. Unfortunately, gyrocopters have been forced off here, and this pocket of strength is just so goddamn scared of all their ammunition, and I think the Hero Corps is probably just going to get isolated and finished off. Well, the balance of power is very heavy at the moment in favour of Gobbo Slayer. I suppose as more and more ammunition it does start to get used up here. Miners as well trying to put pressure on top of these Thunderers. If he can get into the cookie jar and just pull apart these Thunderers, he can certainly be doing some decent work. He has some Thunderers active again here. Bellegarde, of course, will stand no chance against his body double, as well as a Thane and Felix. So it's literally, can he break down these Thunderers? Which he does have the tools. Gyrocopters can help in this centre pocket, but it's a bit risky as well. Miners slowly been dragged down. Lovely play by Anticity, forcing the Rangers to keep the Miners at bay. Then disengaging with the Thunderers, going to turn around and fire into these guys as well. Looks like he's trying to slow down some more Thunderers with the Gyrocopter, so his Hero Corps can indeed catch them. Felix should certainly have the pace to get on his steed there and hunt those guys down. But there's a lot of ammunition left on these Thunderers, which is my main concern and worry. Looks like Rangers are going down. These Thunderers not wanting to go into the night without a bit of a fight here. Oh, axes out, lads. They don't even want to shoot their last couple of volleys. They would rather stand there and take the charge like champs. And of course, Rangers with great weapons are going to probably overwhelm them quite quickly. So, what's left? Is there any more troops? Looks like just a ton of routing troops. So yeah, it's mainly down here at this point. And the skirmishing of the characters shall commence. Gyrocopter trying its best here, pin down some Thunderers. It looks like the Thunderers are releasing all their shots of gyrocopters, perhaps knowing that they're the only units which can really kind of catch them via speed here. Despite this, balance power is in favour of Gobbo Slayer, Thane, Belegar and Felix going strong and very healthy. And if they keep chasing this unit of Thunderers, how many rounds? You have still 7. Yeah, there's so much ammunition left. Gyrocopters have been forced off the field here. Down here, the ultimate showdown between Thunderers and Rangers with great weapons is still going on somehow. I thought the Rangers would have mopped this up a while ago. They're a better AP. Looks like they have broken those Thunderers and they're going to be doomed. Belegar probably just going to chill out the back. Want to fast forward. Might be an idea here. So it's up to these guys, of course. Without icons, I have no idea what's going on. Sorry, dude. You say there's nothing to... Oh, hi, Tank Boy. Nice to see you, dude. But he has so much ammunition left with Thunderers. That's a little bit wide for him. Although the Thane is going to be able to hunt down this unit here, splitting up his hero core now. Which, this is going to test a micro. Felix is a little bit left in the dirt here. So Antici is just going to try to kind of drip and drab in the Thunderers who don't have ammunition, Rangers who are a bit better in combat and so forth, and then just shoot down the units. Looks like he's trying to focus fire down the Thane at this point. Looks like Felix is so close. Yeah, he's going to push his way through. Good micro here by Gobbo Slayer. And clunk. We'll start putting down these Thunderers who are simply going to disengage and start to move themselves onwards once again. Belegar is trying to pull down some dwarf warriors with great weapons. Thane pushing forward as well. I really don't know. He's got like okay ammunition on a couple of units of Thunderers, and that's my main concern. I think it is going to take a while. Of course, because he's going to have to keep... Gobbo Slayer is going to keep hitting the pressure up, and he's going to keep disengaging. Thunderers have a nice firing arc into this Thane now. They're really trying to drag him down in particular. Trying to focus on the weakest targets first, and then push that balance power back. Looks like Dwarf Warriors and have broken, as well as some Thunderers here. This other unit is about to be caught as well by the Thane and start to rout the field. They may well return, however. Belegar is floating around as well. These Thunderers have decent ammunition on them, 8 rounds left. These ones have 6 rounds. The Thane is slowly going down, but these guys are rather tanky. Looks like some returning units as well. 6 rounds on these guys. And Felix, gets absolutely annihilated. And being one of the faster units, that is a big problem. Gets absolutely slaughtered there as he tries to charge in, obliterated from all angles. He's less tanky, of course. He is no dwarf, simply a manlin. And with him gone, the balance power, for the first time in a while, has gone in favour of Antici. So a close game. Felix's Dwarf Slayer. Yeah, that sounds like a cool book. Meanwhile, there are some gobbos skulking in the woods, waiting to shank the survivors. Indeed. Don't know about you guys. I think the dwarves will win. I feel like this is a loss for the dwarves, honestly. Like, dwarf on dwarf violence is never a good thing. It rarely happens, but it does come to blows now and again. Oh, they are going fast forward. That's this Thane. Something get obliterated. And Belegar simply does not have enough about him. But it's honestly, like, apart from the end, where it got obviously quite sloggy and just people running away and engaging and running away and stuff, it was actually a pretty fun game to start, very tactical. It's good to see these guys use their main faction up against each other in a pretty fun matchup all round. And a good way to close out these qualifier today. So it looks like Antici is going to claim victory here. I can't see any way this Belegar will be able to win the day. He's simply going to take a few shots, so maybe we'll get a Belegar on Belegar showdown, which would be pretty fun. So Thane, not quite broken yet, but minus 22 leadership, not a happy bunny. And we do have the Belegar off. Just Belegar on Belegar. I'm waiting for some headbutts. Which one will? Your money on the left Belegar or the right Belegar? Looks like this one's doing a little 360 there before jamming his hammer in Belegar's face. This is a fight to prove who the real one is. Perhaps the dwarves rallied behind their own Belegars. And we have the answer. ODM Antici is this qualifier's champion, which is pretty damn impressive. So he has booked himself into the finals of this season, which he did last time as well, coming in strong and getting an early place, which is all good to see. So GG's. GG. Sad day for Dairykind. Lol, what a match. So let's update the scoreboard here. Antici going to take the finals 3-0, but a very hard fought finals. It certainly wasn't a... the score doesn't kind of really reflect the games. That was very close. A massive shout out to Gobbo Slayer, Played fantastic all game, or all tournament, sorry. Played good all round. But Intensity is this week's champion. So fantastic. A grudge settled. GG to both. Intensity, you this week's champion. You've picked a slot in the season's finals. Again. So Intensity, taking some scalps here, but Gobbo, absolute beast as well. Hope you guys did enjoy. Massive shout out to everyone who took part, as well as a few people as well who helped kind of with admin stuff as well on the side, which I actually forgot to ask people, but people just kind of stepped in, which was lovely. So well down to the king. All hail Intensity. I'll be sticking around for a couple of minutes just to answer questions, but hope you guys did enjoy. This is a 2020 remake of Monty Python's Execution in Russia. I love it. I love it. But yes, hope you guys enjoyed the tournament overall. Lumiere, how you doing? Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'm going to go rest now. You deserve it, man. I need to actually go cook some food, and it's already 10:15 crap. But I will go eat some food. Probably just cook something quick, like pasta. Thanks for the tournament, no worries. Thanks for being awesome players. Well, that chitin must have tired you out. Winky face. Didn't fight like a true dwarf. Should have fought me like a man. Beard to beard. See you next time, dude. So if you have any questions, please ask them now. Love it. Still loving... I left. Still loving the Arcane of Phoenix. Nice games indeed. I don't know why Kafka's just rocks up here. Kappa. Oh, as I say, he's just left there. He did make it to the quarterfinals, I believe, this time. Alright guys, it looks like that's it. Which is all good, so... This week's champion, let's make sure I did the scoreboard. I did, is Intensity. Now, if you want a chance to, well, one, try to claim Tlaxlan Soothsayer's throne, who won last season, and book your place in the finals yourself, these will be hosted weekly. There's going to be 4 qualifiers all round. Simply join my Discord to find out when they will be dropped and all that good stuff. I tend to say like a week, like 3 or 4 days in advance, and it kind of sets up, gives people a nice time to book their slots. But guys, thank you for tuning in. Hope you did enjoy, and until next time, peace, and as always, stay awesome.